So we're going to start off with Jeff and Red. You are at one of the most impressive pieces of architecture in New Crescendo. This is in Upper Alto, which is outside of the crater, but it's along the rim, so it can pretty much be seen from most points in the city. It is, by these Stone Age standards, it is quite large. It's about 1 story, but about 30-ish feet tall. It is dwarven made. There's very, very few buildings that are like this in New Crescendo. The Citadel is one of them. The Citadel is the central location that the elves use to get up to Orchestria, the floating island section of the city that the High Elves live on. This is the Temple of Chaos. This is the largest church, or temple, I suppose, in all of New Crescendo. It's not massive by, modern standards, but to New Crescendo, to the Stone Age world, this is an incredibly impressive feat of architecture. You have both been asked to come here by Director Sonus, who is in charge of... He's not the head guy of the Harmony Guard, but he leads a large amount of the people in it. Jeff, you've been with the Harmony Guard for quite a while. How long do you think you've been in there? Did we say 5-10 years, something like that? If you're talking, you're muted right now.
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, something like 5 years.
Cool. Yeah. So, you've been in the guard for a while. Red, you've been in for probably less than a week at this point. Red is a half-elf. This is unusual for the Harmony Guard. The Harmony Guard is typically run by the High Elves, but it mostly employs a guard force of humans. So why someone with elven blood would choose to be, more of a typical guard and not someone in a leadership position is definitely an oddity. You two don't know each other. You've arrived sort of at the same time. You're both pretty punctual, but you haven't met as of this point. Feel free to introduce your characters.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Okay. My name is Jeff. I am a paladin and member of the Guard. My character really buys into the Kool-Aid of the elves' superiority and their bringing civilization to humanity, and he cares a lot about building a good foundation and with good people. And so he has kind of a vengeance against those he considers evil or uncivilized, and that's kind of his mission, is to fight for the innocent.
And Red? Sorry, Rip. Go ahead. If you're talking, Rip, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Just barely.
Why is it not working now? Can you hear me better now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So, as you said, Red has recently been placed into the Harmony Guard by his elven uncle, kind of keep him out of trouble. And so Red aims to kind of discover human society, but also to kind of prove himself worthy of this position that he's kind of just been given. So there we have it for Red.
Perfect. Okay, so Apologies, I had to refresh real quick. And by the way, if at any point Foundry slips up or the screen freezes or anything happens like that, just hit F5, refresh the window, and that usually solves most of the problems. Okay, so you guys approach this structure. Red, this is, I'm sure you've seen it on the skyline while you're doing your shifts, but this is the first time you've been to the Temple of Chaos as a, you've spent pretty much your entire life amongst the High Elves, so you're not probably religious. How you might feel about the humans and the religion is entirely up to you. But Jeff, as a paladin of Vienna, correct?
Yes. Yep.
You are. This is like your church. Like this is the most sort of popular church. It's not entirely uncommon to see elves show up here every now and then. They are not they're not religious themselves, but they do appreciate good art and good architecture, and so it's not uncommon to see them around here. So you both would recognize each other immediately from the headbands, and I don't know if you're wearing like the pauldrons yet or anything. I'll probably have to add that to your token at some point, but you would recognize Jeff as being a part of the Harmony Guard immediately because he's wearing the big pauldrons. You both are wearing the headbands that are associated with it. So, and you would know that you're coming here to. You might not know exactly why, but you would at least know that you're coming here to meet somebody else in the organization. So you both show up and glance at each other. There's clerics kind of doing. They really wash. They keep this temple very, very clean. And so you notice them sweeping and mopping up the stone and getting the dirt off everywhere.
Okay, so yeah, Red would go straight up to you and say, so you must be Jeff,
Hello,
right? Yes. Hi, my name is Red. Nice to meet you. The director Sones has sent me today.
I've heard of you. It's a pleasure to meet you.
All right, this building is pretty amazing. I thought it would be a lot smaller than this actually, but close up it's quite large.
Quite grand, isn't it?
So the Temple of Chaos, right? So what is it we are to do today?
I have not received my instruction yet. We shall receive it together.
Very well.
So you would know that you're meeting Director Sones here. Both of you know this. He didn't really give any instructions as to where you would meet him, though. He just said, meet me at the Temple of Chaos just after sunrise.
All right.
Yeah. So, shall we?
We shall wait for Director Sones then, yes.
Sure. So do you guys want to wait outside? Do you want to go inside? What would you like to do?
What were his instructions exactly?
He didn't really give anything specific beyond that.
Yeah, I was thinking just going inside and.
Sure. Well, Red will follow your lead.
So you approach the door. They don't really lock, so as you open up, you can see inside. Again, by modern standards, this is not the largest building ever, but to your eyes, this is magnificent. It's like 30 by, I don't know, like 50 feet, and with about 20-foot ceiling. On this back wall here, you would notice there are very intricate, like sort of mosaics. Has to be dwarven made because you've never seen art like this made by humans nor elves. And there's 7 symbols on the wall and then one on the floor up there. And
okay.
each one seems to be dedicated to one of the 8 human gods. The big one, Player Flair, would you mind going back to push to talk, man? I could hear myself through your mic. Sorry. The symbol of Illuven in many instances is viewed as sort of the main god in New Crescendo. They all share power fairly equally, but Illuven is often considered to be the most powerful, and it probably comes down to 2 things. One, he's the sun god. The sun is this very powerful force in the world, so people probably just show it preference quite often. Second reason is that Illuven amongst city humans, especially in the Temple of Chaos, is considered to sort of be the law and order god. And so while the Temple of Chaos is dedicated to all 8 gods fairly equally, there does seem to be a lot of law and order talk, which might be what sort of led you to this temple above other temples, Jeff. And the room otherwise is empty. There's multiple pillars holding the roof up. The floor is made out of some kind of impressive stone, not the sort of mundane mud brick that pretty much every other building in New Crescendo is built out of. There's 4 doors around you. Now, Jeff, as a paladin, you probably know this church pretty well. And it's up to you. You can decide now. But if you wanted to, like be some, not like a choir boy or something, but like if you wanted to be a part of the church in some way other than just attending services, not only is that totally fine, but it would also allow you to kind of know your way about a little bit. You're muted again if you're trying to talk. Sorry, man.
That's okay. I'm not sure which roles I might play, but that would be good. Maybe. Let's see what roles.
We could figure out the details later. For now, it's just, do you want to be a larger part of this church or not?
Yeah, I think that would make sense.
Okay, cool. Then you would know that there's a sizable back room that either the northern or southern door would lead you to. Red, give me actually both of you give me perception checks real quick.
Sure thing. 3.
It's not good.
Actually, 2 with my -1.
Yeah. I like that. I like your dice. It's like all ethereal and stuff, Jeff.
There we go. Something good.
Yeah. So, Jeff, you would actually hear voices, and actually with that roll, you'd hear voices kind of. They're coming from the south down here, and they sound kind of. It's not like an argument, but it sounds kind of tense. But from where you're at with the door closed and everything, you can't really hear what they're talking about.
Okay, what if I just wander a little closer to the door?
Sure.
And meanwhile, Red is going to jump up on here just to have a look at what this art a bit closer.
Sure. So the art is beautiful. It's like I said, it's like all these special stones kind of work together in this mosaic pattern. Most of them are similar. On the ones on the wall are mostly similar. The only one that is sort of significantly different from the rest, and it still has the mosaic pattern, but the symbol for Visaria, who is the nature goddess, does look like it has some vine work, really intricate stuff that you would recognize as really only being possible if it was made by a high elf shaper. So quite a bit of attention. This isn't just work of like humans and stuff. Both the dwarves and the elves had some hand in making this temple and making it as sort of beautiful and glorious as it is. Jeff, meanwhile, you get a little bit closer to the door. It's still hard to kind of make out what they're saying, but you would recognize the voices. One is Director Sonus, your superior, your boss, and the other one is the high priest or the high cleric of this temple, Salavosa, and he is he's getting pretty old. He's like in his 60s. He is pretty much the main spiritual leader, if there is such a thing. He's the most popular. He's the high cleric of the largest church or the largest temple in New Crescendo. So he's a man of pretty big import. And I don't know how close you are specifically to him, but you certainly would know him. He would know you. And my assumption is that you two would get along. He's a pretty good guy. He seems wise. He seems fairly nice. Still hard to kind of make out what they're saying, but it does sound like you get the sense that Sonus is doing more talking than Salavosa is.
Okay. I would just listen for, maybe 30 seconds, a minute, depending on how close they sound. And then I would just walk away toward Red here.
Sure. Give me one more perception check.
Okay.
Both of us? Or
No, just him, because he's doing the active listening by the door. Okay. You can't really hear the conversation, like I said, but you do hear a few key words. The first word you hear is from Sonus, and he says, and the word you hear is today. And then Salavosa says, why Illuven? And that's all you really hear.
Okay.
Okay. And then you walk back to Red. And, yeah.
I come here often. Have you ever been?
No, this first time. It's fascinating. Have you seen these vines? They look elven made, but the mosaic, definitely not elven. Incredible.
Yes, I'm afraid the source of such things is beyond a man like me, but I consider them beautiful.
You hear behind you the door opens, and from within, or Director Sonus walks out, and he seems a little startled that you guys are there, and then he kind of chuckles and shrugs. Behind him, you see the high priest walk out, and he enters this side room here, and just kind of leaves. Sonus looks at both of you and says, I forget how punctual you are, Jeff. It is not exactly what your kind is known for, but it is appreciated.
'Tis a virtue, my lord.
Absolutely. So, Red, I assume this is your first time here?
Yeah, Red saunters over and he says, indeed, Director Sonus. It is.
Well, thank you for meeting me here. This is not exactly a place I come to very often, but I just wanted to make it clear to you, Red, because I know you probably have not experienced the superstition of the humans down here before, but their religion is quite important to them, and it is important that we respect their superstitions, I suppose. Now, quite often we have to do guard work at this temple. Most people are pretty docile, shall we say. They don't typically start things here, but afterwards, you know how humans are. It's important every morning around this time. If you have not been put on duty elsewhere, stop by here. Make sure that it is well manned, and if you are needed, somebody will tell you. Jeff, I'm glad that you and Red have met each other. I am partnering you two up for today. I think Red could use a partner who is a little more up to code, shall we say. Lantham is a little unorthodox by my tastes, and Jeff, you have always been loyal. So, Red, I am pairing you two up, and I'm going to bring you guys into a very important job for today. I want you to go down to the Citadel and meet a very important person. She is engaging in a little bit of trade today on the docks. Word just came in that the dwarves have arrived all the way from Chronicle City. So if you don't mind backing her up, do whatever she asks of you and do me proud.
Dwarves, interesting.
Yes. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I've never met a dwarf, and yeah, they're very interesting. Jeff, have you ever met a dwarf?
I have not. And what is the name of this dwarf that we shall guide?
No, I'm so sorry. It's not the dwarf that you will be guiding. It is a high elf from Orchestria. She is the daughter of a very prominent businesswoman up in Orchestria. Perhaps you have heard of her. Her name is Alta. Red, you would actually be very familiar with her.
And the red smile vanishes instantly.
Jeff, you've probably heard the name, but I don't think you would know what she does or anything like that. You will be escorting her daughter, Cilia. She will be the one making the trade with the dwarves. So go to the Citadel and escort her to the docks. Do whatever she asks of you, and then make sure that she gets back home safely when it is all done.
As you wish, Director Sonnet.
Great, thank you. And with that, he seems to hurry out of the temple at a pace that sort of suggests that he doesn't really like it in here very much.
So Red's going to turn to Jeff, and he's going to be like, "Oh, and I thought today was going to be a good day. I thought I'd only have to see Director Sonnes today, not another elf."
Why? Why would you say such a thing?
They kind of tend to look down on other people. I mean, you saw how he talked about your beliefs, thinking they were more, I don't know, superstitions. I mean, I know the gods exist, but kind of judges you quite harshly.
Maybe it is that the elves don't need the gods like we do.
Yeah, Red kind of just laughs it off and says, so, where to next?
I suppose we should head straight for the Citadel.
Sure. And let me bring you guys back to the new Crescendo map. So, it takes not too long. It's like a quarter of a mile away, but you have to go down. You basically have to go from the top of the crater all the way down. Thankfully, where you're coming from, there's a staircase, but it's a little bit windy. It's not like a perfectly like straight slant all the way down to the bottom. It kind of crisscrosses back and forth, so you're sort of going back and forth to get down there. To do it any other way would be to risk slipping and falling all the way down the mud. Whenever it rains, as it rained here about a night or two ago, the dirt gets quite slick, and it can be actually pretty dangerous to wander down the side of this thing. So a lot of people take the steps. Thankfully, the temple is very close to the steps already, so you're good. You make it to the edge of the bridge, basically, that leads into the Citadel. Now, Red, you wouldn't know this, but Jeff, you definitely would know that you are not allowed to cross this bridge. Red, being a half-elf and known to the guards, would easily be able to come in and out of the Citadel, go back up to Orchestria if he wanted to, but humans are not allowed in the Citadel. There are a pair of elven guards on the far end. Even though you're Harmony Guard, they still don't let you up there. But you would know this. You wouldn't really object or anything necessarily. Although you're probably certainly curious about what's inside there. You know what the rules are and everything. But when Jeff stops short of the bridge, Red would probably be curious as to why they're not continuing along.
Okay, sure.
Do me a favor.
Yes, what is it?
Tell me what it's like inside.
Well, have you never seen it? I mean, it hasn't changed in, I'm told, for hundreds of years.
I have not. I'm not worthy.
Oh yeah, that's right. Humans aren't allowed in. What could Red tell him about the inside of the Citadel?
It's pretty glorious in there. It's dwarven made. Unlike the Temple of Chaos, which is about 30 feet tall, this one is probably closer to like 5 stories tall. They keep a large contingent of elven guards in there. The portal itself is quite magnificent, made of stone with basically a I mean, to you it would be almost, well, actually, even to you it'd be pretty magnificent. You probably have never seen one elsewhere, but it's sort of old hat to you. It's just like this vortex that you just walk in, and then you are inside you're up in Orchestria after that. As you start describing this stuff to him, though, you see out from the Citadel a lone high elf woman steps out. And Diva, if you want to describe your character.
Yeah, she's a tall high elf woman, paler skin, light hair, gray eyes, very light. Yeah, she's standing there, I guess.
Sure. you know what you're out here to do. You know that you're out to do some trade with the dwarves. You basically, whatever gear you have on you normally, you bring. You probably don't super feel like you need help in this venture, but either your mother or someone else will have insisted that at the very least you bring 2 Harmony Guard members along for the ride who will basically serve you in this trade agreement. And it's probably helpful that you probably don't know this area very well, so they can lead you there probably quicker and stuff, and you feel however you feel about below Orchestria. So you walk out, and Jeff and Red, you both would watch her. You'd almost certainly know that it's her as soon as you see her, even though Red, you may have met her before. You probably don't know her very well, but Jeff, you've probably never seen her before, but you do know that high elves don't typically come down here, at least not often enough to be of note. So, or rather, every time it happens, it's so of note that you would probably be very aware of it, but it happens so rarely that who else could this be but Cilia? So she makes her way across, and Cilia, you would see the 2 of them, and you'd almost certainly know that it's them since they're kind of watching you expectantly.
Right.
Sure, go ahead, Diva.
Hello. Are you my guides today?
Yes, milady.
Indeed.
All right, well, I'm sure you know my name is Cilia Alta, and we should probably go now.
Of course, at once.
And you'd probably lead her away and head towards the docks. The city itself is especially Lower Alto, which is basically the area inside the crater, is pretty run down. This is where all the mudslides happen when it rains. The buildings are a little bit less kept up. It's mud brick, so it's quite stable until water gets in the mix, and then it usually requires a lot of upkeep, and you would notice that not a lot of these areas get super well upkept. But as you sort of make your way through the city, you get into other districts that are the higher you get up the slope, the nicer it starts getting, and you make your way all the way up and out into Upper Alto, which is much more nice. The buildings are much more spread out. They're still made out of the same kind of crappy mud brick material, but there's much more 2-story buildings. The people seem a little cleaner, all things considered, by Stone Age standards anyway. And you all make your way very slowly out towards the docks. Red, it's up to you. I assume you're relatively quiet during this time?
Yeah, not very talkative with elves. Yeah.
Sure. And then Jeff, I don't know about you. Are you like a chatterbox in the presence of a true blue high elf, or especially someone who isn't really known to you and is up in Orchestria, or are you
No, I would be more reverent. I wouldn't speak unless spoken to.
Okay. And then Diva, I don't know how interested you would be in the lives of 2 lowly Harmony Guard members, but
no, she's probably not interested. She's probably walking with her, her nose upturned and not making eye contact with any humans that they pass. Just headed towards her goal.
Beautiful. All right. So you all are making your way down to the docks of New Crescendo. Off in the distance, you can see maybe not every single ship in port. The High Elves possess 13 massive ships. Every single ship in New Crescendo's fleet is grown from a single, basically, tree, like a single piece of wood. And that includes the sails, that includes the rigging is made of vine rope, the sails are made out of leaves. It's really, really impressive stuff. Even by the High Elf standards, their ships are probably the most impressive and intricate things that they have ever created. There's only one person who seems to have the skill to make these ships, and he's able to make one every 100 years or so. And the big one, which is the flagship, that one, if you look at the size on the map of the houses, and then you look at the size of the ship, that one is just massive. It is so big, and that one can easily hold 1,000 people if it wants to. It's crazy. I mean, not comfortably, but it's crazy impressive. That one belongs to the what is essentially the king and queen of New Crescendo. It is conductor and conductress Dahlia and Dalian, the two rulers of not only the High Elves but of the humans in New Crescendo. Okay, so you guys make your way there, and in the meantime, we're going to pop over to the streets. And let me know once you all are in here. I'm going to drop some of your tokens down. Okay, so is everybody Hated and Zero and Badger, are you guys all in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Beautiful. Okay.
My token is the picture, the mega picture. Is it supposed to be like that?
No. So that's a weird bug. Just hit F5 and that should fix itself. Let me know if it doesn't fix itself, though.
Yep, it's fixed. Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah, no problem. Okay, so so it's the same day, same morning. We are now observing Zankoth, Volcrum, and Telesi. You are three, at the very least, acquaintances, if not like active friends, which you very well might be. That's entirely up to you guys. You probably have known each other for a little while, and I believe we discussed, and everyone is down for a little bit of crime. So
It's liberation goods, my sir. Liberation goods.
A little bit of skullduggery.
That's right. So, so y'all are aware of a couple of things right off the bat. Every time the dwarves show up to town, it's a big deal, especially in your guys' business, because the dwarves bring with them furs, quality rope, good, good wool clothing, cloth, They bring very high quality stone tools. Also, they are the sole sort of miners of obsidian, so they have insane obsidian weapons and sharp tools and that sort of stuff. So this is, for Zankoth especially, this is a big day for you. You know that the dwarves are coming because you can see them like 12 hours out. You can see their ship across the horizon slowly making their way into New Crescendo, and someone, even if you didn't see it personally, someone would have come and let you know. And so y'all are basically, what you guys are trying to do is you want to see what the dwarves are up to and see if there's anything worth taking. Is essentially it. You're not, Zankoth, you're not necessarily looking to personally be the one to like snatch up anything, but you're definitely your friends would know that if they get anything, you're the guy to go to, essentially, because you've got connections and they can get really good trades for high valuables and stuff. If not from you directly, then at least from the people that you're connected to. If Zankoth, we'll start with you if you want to describe your character.
All right, Zankoth is a flighty guy. He's usually pretty cheerful. He can be mischievous also. He dabbles in crime a little bit. He's the guy that you go to if you want to get things or if you want to trade things, and he's the grease between transactions, whether they're illicit or illicit.
Cool. Volcrum, do you want to go next?
Volcrum would be considered the smoother talker when it comes to dealing with a lot of Xanth's schemes. Sometimes he's the one who says, do we really want to do this now? How about now? When it comes to the crime part of things, the only thing that really makes Volcrum enjoy is some of the turmoil that it causes the elves when they try to remain stoic in the face of some things that have perhaps fallen off the boat. Yeah,
nice.
That's his thing.
And Telassi, or Telassi, sorry.
Tella is a rather quiet, meek human who tends to keep to himself most days, and generally is the shadow at the back of any group that he is in. Tends to not say too much.
Perfect. Okay, so y'all are joined by, let me grab him real quick. You're joined by one other friend. His name is Gavin. He is sort of a new guy to your little group. You wouldn't necessarily say you're friends with him, but he's a good guy. He's got connections of his own. He tends to live his life even more on the fringes than the rest of you. He doesn't really go in for any kind of stable work. He more just tries to take what he can get and, live one day at a time without having to work too hard. Although he works pretty hard to not work very hard, if you know what I mean. So he's walking along with you guys as you're kind of making yourself, you're making your way towards a contact that Zankoth, you would know probably more than anyone, but Gavin knows him pretty well too. And Gavin says, yeah, so Trillion, he's a good guy. If there's anyone who might be able to get us an in with those dwarves, it's him. He's like the dock chief of that whole thing. So, if we could kind of pay him off, there's a good chance that he'll be able to get us maybe even on the boat.
Well, I say we check out this trillium, boys.
Sounds
Sounds
good.
like a good plan.
Beautiful. And so you're making your way through the town. It's pretty busy this time of day. Usually daybreak brings a lot of people to the streets to do, their trading, their work, whatever. As you're kind of making your way, sort of easterly, you do see a little crowd gathering. There's a cleric sort of doing their town crier thing that they do quite often every day. The cleric is pretty smooth talker, but definitely more on like the doomsayer side of things. Normally, if you want like really nice sermons and hope and all that, you go to one of the temples. But if you're looking to get scared into going to one of the temples, you tended to come across these guys on the sides of the street a lot. This one is wearing the white and gold robes, sort of known of the Temple of Chaos. And this one is basically saying things, like our high elf guardians are taking care of us, but the days are getting much. The days are already growing shorter. We just got out of winter. If you all don't want to see another winter come in before we've had time to replenish our stocks, you must beg for Aluvin's forgiveness for this negligence. Already, we've been seeing more murders every day, which super angers Illuvin and the other gods of law and order. They do not like what we are becoming. Just a few days ago, a woman pregnant with child was murdered in these very streets.
What if Illuvin's given up on you?
The cleric looks over at you and just roll. What do you want to roll to like? How much do you want to disrupt that?
I would like to disrupt that a lot, please.
Yeah, roll whatever whatever charisma check you think is appropriate for disrupting this, whether that's persuasion or intimidation or performance, even whatever you want.
I'm thinking this is a performance.
Sure.
If I've ever heard one.
Go for it.
Shit.
Okay, interesting. So the cleric just kind of gives you a little glance, but then just keeps going on into his sermon. He doesn't seem to he's not up for debate, it doesn't seem. And the rest of the crowd kind of glances back at you, and
I'll smile at the rest of the crowd. Like, I was just joking with the guy.
Sure.
As we're walking by, do I see any like clods of dirt or just small pebbles on the ground?
Yeah. Oh, sure. It's
I'll just
pretty much mud
grab one
cities.
and I'll just grab a small clod of dirt, and right as we're about as far away as we can get, I'll just toss it at him, just to fuck with him.
Shit. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Roll like
Quit screwing around, boys.
Yeah. Roll like a dexterity or a strength attack roll. Let's see here. Just add your whole. I mean, if you're throwing it at him, sure, you should get your whole bonus, right? It's not necessarily going to do any damage, but.
How do I do this?
Sure. So let's see here. Well, it's if you're using strength, it's a +5 bonus. So just type into the chat. Just type in /r space 1d20 +5.
When he's doing that, I'm gonna make some distance between me and him.
Yeah, go for it.
1d20 +5?
Yeah, because that's your bonus for attack.
Gotcha.
/, not question mark.
Thank you.
Very good.
That would help.
Otherwise, you can just click the symbols of the dice underneath the chat box. It writes that out automatically.
Yeah. Yeah, if you click the 20-sider.
Wait, am I getting tripped here?
That's not good. He rolled a 1. Perfect.
I make more distance between me and him.
I run after them.
Telesi, you reach down to pick up like a rock or a clump of mud or something, and as soon as you do, your foot just gives way and you just Elmer Fudd and face plant right into the ground, and you get more mud on you than anything else, and the crowd kind of looks back at you and laughs at you and just kind of goes about their business. And
The gods have spoken. They have spoken, O mighty prophet. You were right. Oh, this one shall repent. Repent.
Gavin gets the hell out of there. At this point, both of you have failed pretty miserably to disrupt. So if you want to keep pushing it, you absolutely can. But you're probably you already know that you're at least being the crowd is not on your side right now.
I'm going to leave with my pride somewhat intact.
As intact as possible given the moment. Yeah.
I'll just saunter away with just a little bit of swagger. But then I'm going to I am going to then glance up at the preacher, and I'm going to look at him just straight in his eyes, and I'm hoping that I get eye contact with him, and I'm going to whisper something in Dwarvish, and I'm going to whisper, "In time." And I'm going to I'd like to roll an intimidation if he makes eye contact with me.
Sure, go for it. Wow, you're getting you know what, on these rolls you're getting the bad ones out of the way. He actually doesn't make eye contact with you. You just you kind of feel a little, even though he's not talking to you, you feel a little talked down to, like this guy, like you're just too beneath him to engage with. And
we have somehow emboldened him.
Kind of, a little bit. And so unless you want to ask...
That didn't go exactly the way I had planned it. But I'm going to look over at Telia and I'm be like, but I got to say, that was brilliant. Thank you. You made me look wonderful.
Comparatively, Gavin says.
You're welcome. And I go and I give him a big hug. with all the mud and everything, just making sure it gets equally as dirty.
It's just dirt. I've tasted worse.
So you make your way through, and Gavin points out, "Oh, there's Trillin over there," and he kind of makes his way over there. Trillin is just kind of chilling by himself. He's picked up a good spot in the shade, and it looks like
I've met this guy before.
You have, yeah. Trillin is, he's kind of hard nosed, but he's a good guy, and he's probably done trades with you in the past. And I don't know how. I don't think you guys know each other super well, but you probably like him.
I go in for this forearm handshake. Hey, Trillin, it's been so long. Before he can even react, I'm just shaking his arm.
You've definitely caught him off guard. He's, oh, Zankoth, hey, I haven't seen you in a second. What's going on?
It's great seeing you. Well, you know.
Sure, yeah. I might have some trades for you before too long.
Great.
Yeah, I've got a good dwarf crew coming in today.
Oh, that's what I've heard, and that's why we're here.
Oh, yeah? Well, you getting in on that too, or what?
Well, I don't know, but we'll have to see if it's any good or not.
He nods. Don't know nothing about them just yet. Elves told us they're gonna need a hand, so I hired on about a dozen boys, and they're already over there doing their thing.
Oh, any word yet, or should we join them?
he kind of shrugs and sort of looks a little uncomfortable. He's like, you might be a little bit late if you're trying to get in on that. I sent that crew off like 30 minutes ago.
Well, then what can we do?
Sort of shrugs. I mean, I guess you could go down there if you want. I mean, you know, maybe I could get you in on that crew. I'm not sure the dwarves are going to be happy with 4 super late workers, but as long as you're willing to take your lashings, I suppose I could.
Well, they're dwarves. When are they ever super happy?
He nods. Well, I guess you go down there, tell them I sent you. See if they want anything to do with you. That's up to you though. But if I throw myself in this situation with you, and you come away with anything good, I want a little finder's fee if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, you know, I'll take care of you.
He nods and is like, all right. Maybe I'll see you at Meryl's place later tonight then.
Oh, for sure. I'll be by there later for sure.
All right. He kind of nods and he's like, it's center dock. I mean, you can't miss. It's the only dwarven ship in the port.
All right, center dock. What do you think, boys?
Looks like we have some work to do.
Following you guys' lead.
All right. Now we're gonna join the teams together. It's kind of a big map, so just let me know once you're in. And it looks like almost everybody is.
I'm good.
Perfect.
I'm here.
I'm here.
Beautiful. So you're at the docks right now. It is it's mostly just a beach with some wood dock on it. There's nothing really impressive about the area. You can see, a few hundred feet in either direction is the elven ships are docked, and some of the more massive and impressive sort of like there's specific docks meant specifically for the elven ships, and there's a couple of docks meant for dwarven ships that come in every now and then. This is the only one being used right now, so it's hard to miss the dwarven ship. The three of you, Cilia, Red, and Jeff, you arrive pretty much at the same time as Zankoth and his friends. But Zankoth, you guys arrive like just behind him. You would spot Cilia walking by with the Harmony Guard, and this might give you guys a little bit of pause, but you can kind of choose how you want to approach the situation. If you want to, do you want to walk straight up there? Do you want to hang back for a bit, or whatever you want?
I think we should hang back.
Okay.
What do you guys think?
I'll take your advice over anybody's.
I mean,
All right, maybe we should hide behind
doesn't-
these rocks right here.
it doesn't hurt to take a look, maybe a little closer. I mean, after all, we're here to help unload them, right? That's why we were sent here.
Exactly. You're speaking my language.
He has a point.
We have
And
to
if they-
help unload.
If they don't need us, well then, we'll just make ourselves useful some other way.
We're saving their backs.
So over with Cilia and the Harmony Guard, you guys approach, and you see 3 dwarves. There's a whole bunch of dwarves working over on the ship, and The dwarves seem less interested in helping the human dock workers with all the heavy cargo, but they're kind of supervising and stuff. Celia, you know this dwarf who's approaching. His name is Motifus, and he is, you know him as a little bit of a minor sorcerer, and a guy who is he comes here fairly regularly, about maybe every 6 months or so, which is, you know, by elven standards pretty regular. And he comes pretty much a big ass cargo hold filled to the brim, and he comes to do a little bit of regular trading with some of the other elves and and maybe even some humans occasionally, but for the most part he is here to talk to you, and he shows up about on time every 6 months.
All right. Well, then I guess I can walk up to him.
Sure.
Let's go.
Oh, we would definitely follow along.
Sure. Motifus has 2 dwarves behind him as well. All 3 of them, you notice, none of them are armored. They're all just wearing very comfortable sort of woolen linens and stuff. But each of them on their hip carries either a dwarven battle axe or warhammer, and they are, compared to what you guys have, they're massive. They are incredibly intricate. They almost don't even look like stone. The kind of shapes that they take on, these have not been napped together. You know what I mean? Like for humans, you construct your gear by smashing 2 rocks together until you like chip off a sharp point and call it an axe. These look more, not that you know what metal is, but they look more like metal, like they look, or plastic or something. They look like they've been molded. There's shapes, there's like rune work on them. They are incredibly impressive, and for your first times, I mean, Celia, this is kind of old hat to you, but for Red and Jeff, if this is your first time seeing dwarves, you'd probably be struck by their tools and the colors they're wearing too. They seem to, you know, humans tend to wear a lot of browns and darker browns. The elves have access to some decent dyes and stuff, but humans generally don't. But the dwarves seem to have everything. They're wearing all kinds of unnatural colors that you don't see too much. And they all stand about, 4-ish feet tall. And Motifus says, Cilia, I have missed you so much. And he kind of walks over to you, not to really give you a hug, but just to kind of like pat you on the shoulders or the elbows, given the height difference. And how have you been?
Hello, Motifus. I've been well. I hope your trip was very easy.
Oh, you know me, no complaints, but it's not quite a month trip, but close enough. I've already sent most of my boys into town to, have a good time and splash around a bit. Your mother was good, I take it, to send us these dock workers so quickly?
Well, you know her. She's very prepared, always.
Always. That's why I like doing business with you.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah, you're...
Shall we commence this transaction?
He nods and says, it'll probably take most of the day to get all of this off of my boat, but if you wanted to get started on this first part, he reaches on his belt. He has this leather pouch that is it has this extra leather cord that's wrapped around a stone multiple times. That's like the dwarven version of a lockbox, basically. And he takes him a good 20 seconds to unravel all the like leather rope before he pulls out inside of it. It's about a fist-sized stone box. It almost looks like just a slightly oversized like wedding ring box, you know what I mean? It's pretty small, made out of gray stone, but shaped in such a way that it is incredibly smooth, like even the elves aren't capable of getting stone to look like this. And he doesn't open the box, he just hands it to you and you know, probably Jeff and Red don't know this, but you know that you'll have to agree to the transaction and then bring the box back home before you can complete the transaction.
Yes. So he's handing me the box?
He's handing you the box, yes.
Yes. Okay.
He says, I'm just looking for a bit of a top off.
What did you have in mind?
The same thing as last time, I suppose. I'm sure your mother can take care of all of that. In return, I've brought you the finest everything, you know. We've got plenty of fish that we caught along the journey. We've got stone vases, stone boxes, stone weapons, rugs and furs and rope and cloth, and we've got quite a few very impressive black rock tools that I think you will like quite a bit.
So I have what he wants, right?
Yeah, so basically
Yeah.
you're going to take what he just gave you to your mother.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Then
Yes.
bring it back, basically.
I see what you mean. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, we can have that arranged.
He nods and gestures. And would you like to inspect the cargo first, or do you trust me?
Well, you haven't failed me yet, so...
This is why I like you.
Meanwhile, Red is poking around and stuff and just looking at what's inside the box.
Sure. So there, the box itself, like that box right there, that you're looking at is actually nailed together. You might not actually be familiar with nails at all, but you see when you try to open it, it's like held down by these like what appear to be stone spikes. You probably understand the principle, but it's probably your first time ever seeing something like this before. The vases that surround you, you have seen pottery work. City humans make it a lot, but these are just as smooth or maybe even smoother, but you can tell they're made out of pure hardened stone, which you've seen stuff like this before, so it's not surprising to you, but it is impressive. It's always impressive to you that the dwarves can make things like this.
Okay, no, he's just looking around and...
Sure. So Motifus basically thanks Cilia for always getting to the point and not wasting any time and stuff. Meanwhile, Zankoth, you and your group, you from over 100 feet, you're not, especially with like the ocean waves and all that, you're not really hearing anything. But you can see that they're having some kind of negotiation. If you all want, you can roll perception checks on whether or not you saw the box being exchanged between them. Wow, we're really getting the bad ones out of the way. Telasi, that's just waiting on you now.
Still trying to figure out how to use this thing a little bit.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
So double click your token. That'll open up your character sheet. And then just click on perception in the left-hand side of the screen on the list. If you just click it, it'll open up your a dialog box that will ask you if you want to roll it. You just want to roll it normally.
Thank you.
The savior. The 10 was all it needed, so thank goodness. One of you.
Good job.
Tell us, say you would have seen the exchange between the box. You'd see the dwarf having handed the box to the high elf. It's up to you whether or not you tell.
Guys, they got a fancy box.
A fancy box.
Yeah.
I'm thinking perhaps we need to be the special envoy that is here at the request of, and then we just look at them, someone important.
Not a bad idea.
Let's try it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So you guys heading over them?
Yeah.
Perfect. Feel free to move on over and... Oh dear God, that windiness is gonna... I'm just waiting for the server to explode. Alright, so the Harmony Guard, you probably don't need a roll for this. You probably just notice the four of them heading over to you. Unless any of you are trying to like stealth your way in.
We're trying to be workers. I don't think we'll try to stealth our way.
Sure. So you notice them
Subtle,
walking,
but not sneaking.
Sure. You notice the approach then. All three of you probably would.
Yeah, sure. And for now, Red's not on guard because they're not showing any signs of hostility, but he just notices that they're there.
Sure.
I'm going to approach with the demeanor as though I am a servant, and I'm going to keep my shoulders close together, my hands in front but open, and my gaze slightly down.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll approach them, and I will speak to them, address them.
Okay. Who are you walking up to specifically?
I'm going to go to the person who looks the fanciest, so I'm thinking the one in the middle.
Yeah, that'd probably be Cilia, the High
Scylla,
Elf,
yeah.
or
Yes, she
Motifus,
looks
the dwarf.
very, very important.
Sure.
We were told to make haste to be here, for it is important for us to handle things for you.
I'm sorry. Who sent you?
We were told that it was most important that we be here to assist you.
Yes, but a name, maybe? Who told you this? I only arranged for 2 guards, and you see, they're already here, so...
We were told by the dock foreman that it was important. It was highly important that we assist and make sure that everything went according. I'm sorry, I was just told to be here. And I look defeated.
So, to do what exactly? I'm sorry,
We're supposed to help with the cargo.
Oh. Motifus jumps in. Yes, I did. I thought we already had everybody, but if more labor's more labor, I suppose. Sure, you could get to work on the ship back there if you want.
All right, let's go, boys.
And I'll approach the very last and I'll be like, I'm so terribly sorry, I should not have talked to you. And then I'll just walk by her.
As they pass, Red just makes a little comment to Jeff. He says, I knew humans liked mud, but a couple of them seem particularly fond. I mean, they've covered their clothes with it.
Did I catch that by chance?
That is not a fondness, but a lack of ability to clean oneself.
If you want to roll a perception check to see if you catch that, sure. Unless Red, are you saying it loud enough that they would hear it, or are you
I think
trying to be
he'd
discreet?
wait till they kind of walk past, but he wouldn't be hiding it particularly. He's not ashamed.
You could roll a perception, DC 15, we'll say. There you go, Fulcrum. You just barely catch, just barely catch a little bit of that. Telesi, you do not, however.
Dang it.
It was Teller that was covered in mud, right?
Yeah, though he hugged Fulcrum. So they both would probably be slightly covered at the very least. Yeah, so only Fulcrum caught it, and just barely. Do you say or do anything in response to that? Or? No,
Oh,
okay.
no, I could care less what they think of me.
Sure.
She's an elf. Yeah.
Cool. All right, so one of the dwarves just kind of... He's speaking Elvish, and he basically says, yeah, just it's all in the cargo hold. Go on down there and bring everything out onto the docks, or better yet, onto the beach is better. There he goes back.
Excellent.
And then Cilia and the rest of you, are you gonna head back to Orchestria for the moment?
Yeah, I suppose I'm supposed to go pick up his payment.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Sure. So,
Yeah. So I guess we just get on the roll.
Cool. All right. Unless you want to do anything else, I'll just move you away for the moment.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. So Zankoth and Co. You all move your booties over to the I mean, the ship doesn't have a name, but you move over to the ship. There's already a lot of humans above and below deck.
Can I pull everybody aside out of earshot of everybody else for a minute?
Sure. If it's the four of you kind of grouping up, you could certainly pull each other. You could certainly do so. Would it be super discreet to do so or not? Maybe. That's how it depends on how discreet you're trying to appear, I guess.
I'll just pull them aside for just a second. I'll say,
Sure.
We got to come up with a plan to get that box.
Let's see what they have on the ship first. That box might be important, but I have a feeling that we'll find a lot of things. Plus, remember, we don't want to go after the one thing that they'd miss the most.
Or do we?
Plus, I feel like one of you two that are a little bit more on the borrowing side of things might be able to take it off her hands, per se.
That's why we need a plan.
Later on.
I think that
Maybe one should go back and follow them.
Let's see what we can do here, guys. It's important that we...
All right.
One thing at a time.
Okay, so all of you stay with the ship then?
Can we see where they're unloading the cargo?
Yeah, pretty much what you see on the map is where they're unloading it here on the dock, and then right off the dock over by the like just on the beach itself. They're pretty much all over the place. Some of the quicker things they're just kind of tossing on the docks, and some of the more heavier stuff they're trying to get all the way onto the beach, although not everything. So it's when you go down into the lower decks of the ship. This ship has two decks. It has two pretty sizable decks. The cargo hold beneath is filled to the brim. There's tons of stuff to to kind of go through down there. Most of the boxes are nailed down, so you certainly have the opportunity to try and look in them, but you might not have the easiest means of doing so. You can certainly try, though. I mean, whatever you guys want to do.
Are they labeled?
Not at all.
Damn it.
You know what? Roll an investigation check. Yeah, they're not labeled in the slightest. So
Do any
go ahead.
do any of them seem to be treating the boxes with extreme significance?
So it's pretty much just a human dockhand crew, so they themselves don't seem to know what's up either. They're just grabbing everything and bringing it out. If you ask someone, they'll pretty much tell you, just take everything, put it out, get it off the ship.
The guy in front of us, is he dwarven or human?
This guy is human. I don't have like the full. There's not like there's probably about a dozen-ish humans aboard the ship and off the ship and all that. There's maybe half a dozen dwarves above and below deck. The dwarves are keeping an eye on things, but not like a super close eye or anything. They're not really taskmasters or anything. They often get caught up in conversations with each other, and there are definitely opportunities for discreet looks at things or even outright thieving of things.
Could I make my way to one of those dwarves?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You do so, and it's two dwarves just kind of having a little conversation, and they both look over at you.
I look at them. Is there anything I should make sure to be extra careful with? I don't want to break anything special.
They both kind of glance at each other, and there's kind of a look of confusion on their face, and they kind of speak back to you in this sort of guttural language that you don't understand at all. You've probably never seen a dwarf before. And as you walked by, the two dwarves that you've heard talking are talking in Elvish, but these two, as far as you could tell, don't even understand Elvish. So they don't seem to know what the hell you're talking about.
Are the other two there?
Yeah, if you make the rounds, you'll eventually find one dwarf who does speak Elvish, and he says, "What can I help you with?"
Is there anything that should be treated with careful hands, as to not break it?
Don't break anything.
Well, I just want to know if anything's incredibly delicate.
He thinks about that for a second and shrugs and says, "There's special box on top." He leads you upstairs and he points at this box over here. Don't drop that box.
Okay. I sort of glance at the others and like nod this way.
So if you guys go over to that box,
get that box, boys.
if you go over to that box, it is nailed down. There's about, I don't even know, like 20 nails just along the side of it. The slats are not so close that you can't see into it, but it's all covered in shadow and stuff. It's hard, especially with the sail, to get a sense for exactly what's going on down there. It looks pretty dark, though.
Is it heavy?
It's very heavy. It would probably take 4 of you to carry this thing.
All right, let's get it.
All right, on 3.
So you, yeah. Where do you want to bring it?
As we're walking up the dock, if we get that far,
Mhm.
I want to say, let's just keep going up the beach.
Okay.
That sounds good.
Now, have
Alright.
you guys, in the meantime, have you been doing any work at all up to this point, or is this like as soon as you get there, you talk to this dwarf, find this box, and now you're yeeting out of there?
I guess that was up to him when he wanted to talk to the dwarf.
Sure.
I mean, I would have sort of assumed that in the meantime they were off doing their own thing.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been around what, half an
Nabbing little
hour,
bits here.
something like that?
That sounds good.
Okay, cool. Sure. So, so you're gonna, if I understand correctly, you're gonna grab the box and just walk it up the beach and just see if you can get away with it. Is that right?
Unless nobody has moved it back past the beach there, would it be really suspicious? Like, could I know that it would be?
I mean, so far everybody has dropped off everything, like in this area at absolute furthest, right? Just along the shore of the beach, essentially. No one has taken a big ass box and literally left the docks with it entirely. Not to say you're not welcome to try. I'm just saying nobody's done it so far that you've seen.
Well, maybe we should wait until they do start moving it up further up the beach. Or do we know they plan to do that? Is that something we would know?
You're not actually sure just yet. For now, they've just told you to unload everything onto the beach.
I lean over to the others and I'm like, we could always just say it's a special delivery.
All right.
Hey, anything's worth a shot once, eh?
And let's walk with lots of confidence.
Yes.
Okay.
As long as we don't have to roll for it.
Roll for confidence.
Good luck on that one. Okay, so you basically, I don't think I can really do this because they're on two separate layers, but you basically grab the box, march it out, and as you're kind of heading out, Motifus and his boys have probably taken a little bit of shade over here. And y'all are making your way out. So far, by the time you get to the dock, or get just to the beach, nobody has taken a second glance at you. But now you're about to walk past three dwarves, one of whom you saw him talking to the high elf in the Harmony Garden stuff, so you can pretty safely assume he's in charge. So far they're not looking at you, but they're not so engrossed in their conversation that you're certain they're not going to glance over at you. So
Keep on going. Don't even glance at them.
Keep head down and everything.
We know what we're doing.
Nice. Okay. Zankoth, I think I'm gonna give this one to you. Roll with advantage. A deception check.
All right, 1 second.
Sure. Oh, that's good. That's real good. Okay, you guys start wandering on by, and I think at least at first they're going to be hard pressed to catch you. I think he's going to have to roll pretty darn high. That's not going to do it. Yep. So far, and here, let me get these guys out of the way. So far, so good. You're making your you're making your way by, and they haven't looked up at you. You keep going, and I'm gonna give him one more check to just notice that you guys are making off with his shit, essentially. Okay. He kind of glances your way, but he doesn't say a word, and you guys have sort of nonchalantly, with that massive check, you've just made your way off. Eventually, you get to.
Good job, boys.
How did that just work?
25. That's how that worked.
Fair enough, but
as you get to the tents, nobody's stopped you yet, but this is a big fucking crate, and if you go much further with it, and you're totally welcome to, but if you go much further with it, you're gonna start hitting the city, and if you want to go where I assume you'll want to go with it, that is over a mile away, and so it's up to you, but it might occur to you to make sure this is worth it first.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, let's check out what we've got.
We should probably open the box.
Sure. So what do you guys got to work with here? You got hand axes and stuff.
What are the nails made out of curiosity?
Stone.
Okay.
You can try to pry it open with your stone axes or daggers or whatever else you want.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll, not an attack, roll a dexterity ability check. Whoever wants to take point on this, I guess.
I'll do it.
Okay.
I'll go for it.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, Volcrum, you pop it. It takes a while. I mean, it takes a while. You have to really wiggle it around, but you're a smart guy. You're using leverage. You're slowly whittling away at it, and you pop it open, and this thing is stuffed with obsidian axes. There's got to be
Nice.
a dozen of them, and they're dwarven made to boot. So you've seen obsidian tools before, but usually they look like shit. These are works of art, and they're top to bottom just fucking gorgeous.
Can I take two of those out, set them down on a cloth from my bag, wrap it up, and put it in my backpack?
You're gonna struggle fitting that thing in your sling bag. You could certainly wrap it up and like try to conceal it a little bit, but these are pretty big. Like they're not tiny little hammers. They're like big ass two-handers, and they
How
probably
many are we talking specifically?
about a dozen.
So it's a great axe?
It's like a battle axe, so you could probably use it one-handed, but these dwarven weapons seem to be a little bit over the top and outlandish, a little bit less like the down and gritty, like historically accurate stone tools that you guys are used to, and a little bit more like getting into that World of Warcraft, like kind of ridiculously big. Not quite ridiculously big, but they weigh more than a normal stone battle axe. They've used a lot more stone. This would be kind of hard to do. Any of you have the napping skill?
I don't.
I do not.
Wow. Okay. You wouldn't really be able to tell much about the stone themselves, except that it is very, very impressive looking and unlike anything any of you. I mean, maybe you've seen a stone tool here and there, but these are extra nice. They're +1 weapons, non-magical +1 weapons, but +1 weapons. And you'd probably get the sense that unlike normal human stone tools, they don't break on actually, normally obsidian is brittle, which means it breaks on a natural 1 or a natural 20. You get the sense these won't necessarily break on either.
Gotcha.
Well, boys, we gotta give one to Tellus. What's his name?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Telesi.
Trillion.
Trillion. Gotta give one to him.
Oh, yes. I think this was well worth everything we had to do. As I look right over at Telia, and I just motion to the mud all over us. Thanks for the disguise, brother.
You are welcome.
We're just another dirty human.
That worked out way too well.
Okay, so there's only 4 of you. You can't really fit these into your bags. How do you want to carry 12 pretty massive obsidian axes out of here?
I'm wondering if we can bury it right here on the beach and come back later.
That would probably be a good idea. I would say bury them in different places, though.
Well, the only thing with that, and you're welcome to do that too, but there are people who these beaches aren't completely abandoned. So if you're taking the time to dig 3, 6, 12 holes, someone's probably going to notice that, and it's not like these things don't stand out, you know.
So we need to actually carry it into at least a part of the city and then hide it there.
I mean, you could.
Well, what's in these tents that are by us?
People live in these tents.
So
Not every
residents.
Yeah, not everyone gets a stone or a mud brick house in New Crescendo. And the high elves. I mean, the humans can mostly build their own mud brick houses. The elves support them how they can, but humans seem to breed much quicker than elves can respond to. And so a lot of people kind of fall through the cracks a little bit and wind up having to live in tents. You don't notice anyone near these tents right now, though. All my point before was you're welcome to dig a hole if you want to go that route. I'm just saying it might take digging a lot of holes rather than one hole or a couple of holes might be less noticeable than digging, because I didn't know if you wanted to dig one hole for each axe and really separate them out and stuff.
Just one big hole, but maybe in between a couple of tents that aren't occupied at the moment, so nobody really sees us do it.
Mm-hmm.
We should probably move a little bit further away.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
just so that they don't walk 10 feet away from the ship and see unsettled dirt and sand.
That's right.
Okay. So you're gonna head further up the beach or further into town, or what?
I'm thinking let's stick to the edge of the beach and then find a good spot.
Okay.
Like near the city meets the beach.
Okay. Do you want to? Sure. Okay. Yeah, that sounds fine. So you'll just make your way kind of further up. Roll. I don't want to say a stealth check, but maybe that's the best way. Whoever has the best stealth check will go with them. Roll stealth with advantage, and then we'll just count that for the whole group. So I think that's Zankoth. Yeah. Roll a stealth check with advantage. Okay. You do pretty good. But there's 100,000 people in New Crescendo. Definitely some people see you carrying around this big ass crate. You'd probably notice somebody is kind of watching you as you're like looking for a place to dig and stuff. No, not like suspiciously watching you, but you're carrying this big ass crate that's going to draw a little bit of attention, but eventually you find a place not in town, but not near, maybe in like a little crop of rocks or something. You find a place, and you take some time, you dig a hole, and as far as you can tell, no one has seen this. Now that you have done this, what's your next move?
While all that was going on, I look to the others and I say, while this is happening, should one of us go in to town and try and see about our unacquired goods within town?
I think that's a good idea.
Zan, you have the best connections that I know
Yeah.
of. You should probably be the one to spearhead this.
Do you want me to tag along or stay here?
Yeah, one come with me and two stay to watch the crate.
I'll tag along.
Okay, so
All right. Could I go find Merrill now?
So sorry, say that one more time.
Could I go find Merrill? He might know what more to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So Zankoth and Telesi are gonna go off on their own, and Volcrum and Gavin, you're gonna stay behind.
Correct.
Okay, cool. So they fuck off for a while, and we're gonna snap back over. What are you guys standing watch by the crate, or are you guys doing something else, Volcrum?
I'm not going to be like sitting right on top of it, but I'm going to be near it, so I don't want to be like, look at me. I'm just going to sit here on top of the stuff that we stole and get taken to jail.
Yeah. Yeah, no problem. Okay, cool. So let's pan back over to our Harmony Guard and High Elf. Cilia goes into Orchestria, where I assume Red won't follow and Jeff can't follow. She's gone for about an hour, and then she comes back out of the Citadel, and you all make your way back to these docks. And as you make your way over, you see that you can't actually see any of the dwarves on the docks waiting for you like they had been before, but you do see there's kind of a line of humans just off the ship. And you see Motifus and a couple of his dwarven guards, sort of like they're pretty unhappy looking. You're not really sure what to make of all this, but it doesn't look good. They're actually looking pretty hostile towards the humans. They're not attacking them or anything, but they just look like pissed and upset.
Are they currently berating them?
Yeah, that's kind of that's the sense that you're getting for sure.
Okay, so then I would just wait for them to finish.
Sure. And Cilia, you're watching this. Whatever your feelings towards humans are, you do know that, like, as a high elf, you're sort of the custodians of the humans. So I don't know how exactly you want to feel about this dwarf, like, really chiding them. It doesn't look like normal, like, man, you guys are bad workers kind of stuff. It looks like a lot more serious than that. And you'd also notice that his 2 guards watching over them their weapons are out.
All right. So I'll kind of walk onto the dock, but not like all the way to where they are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know how to make my person walk, but
You should be able to just drag and let go.
Yeah, or you pick him up and then press the space bar to do little steps.
okay, I got it. And I'm gonna maybe like try to catch the eye of like one of the dwarven guards.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like motion for him to like come over here.
One of the guards specifically, or if Motifus spots you, are you going to motion to him?
Yeah, I mean, whoever happens to I catch first. It seems like Motifus is talking to the human, so I thought maybe like a guard would see me first.
For sure. So the dwarves are kind of watching them like a hawk. Motifus is kind of like pacing up and down and like grabs someone and just like opens up like one of their pouches and he catches your eye and he just kind of starts stomping over. He tells his 2 guards to stay on them.
Yeah, Red wouldn't intercept. He would just come a bit forward because he's noticed that there are weapons out, and he's been ordered to protect Cilia. So he's just got one hand on his Volante, but that's it.
Cilia,
Calm stance.
I don't know what kind of operation you are running here these days, but I will not tolerate thievery.
I'm sorry, my operation?
He glances back and gestures to the humans. An entire crate of weapons have gone missing.
Well, I would assume that would be your responsibility.
They're humans.
Yes, well, I don't control what the humans do. You were supposed to watch over as they unload.
He's looking pretty frustrated. Roll like a persuasion or intimidation, whatever makes the most sense for you. For what you're going for, I guess.
I guess intimidation.
Okay, nice. Nice.
That's right. Use your bossy voice.
He looks pretty upset, and he looks like very flustered and frustrated, and he looks back at the humans and he says, They are yours. I was going to trade them to you. What do you... Do you want me to go beat them? I will go beat them.
Motifus, we have such a wonderful relationship, but what I'm going to give you is incredibly important, you understand? And I can't be cheated like this. I left to go get your payment, so I would assume that you would take care of mine. Are you sure you didn't see anything out of the ordinary? Nobody left?
One of the humans claims that they saw 4 workers, probably the ones who came in late, walking off with the crate.
Yes, they were pretty suspicious, I have to say.
All humans look suspicious to me. One human, they're all covered in mud and barefoot. What do I know about suspicious?
Well, you're not wrong. I'm gonna turn around and look out on the beach. Do you think I see any, weird footprints of, or,
cool.
something being dragged in the sand or something?
Roll a perception check.
All right.
that works. You would spot a lot of footprints. And certainly in like the, the afternoon breeze and stuff, you've been gone long enough that there's no like super prominent ones, but you suspect there could be a way to track some footprints along the sand for sure. You'd probably have to spend a decent bit of time on it, but it seems doable to you.
So I'd like to step up and offer my services.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say to the dwarf, sir, if I may, I am an investigator. May I speak with the workers and take a look around? I can be of some help.
He nods and waves. Whatever you must do. Beat them. I don't care. Drown them.
So I'm going to come down here. And I want to just ask the workers like the basic questions, first I'll ask him, what did anyone see? Did anyone
So
see anything suspicious?
one of the dwarves will... Yeah, one of the dwarves will remember that a black-haired man asked him about what, in hindsight, he realizes now is valuable cargo, and that is the crate that is missing. Some of the humans will have said that they literally saw them take the box off the docks. One says that they saw them walking with a purpose towards the city, but they didn't question it because they seemed so confident. It just seemed like they were supposed to be doing that, and they don't, they're not paid to question things.
Right. The dwarf that talked, is he one of the ones that was standing with us in the group when they came late to work?
No.
Okay, he's not one of those.
Correct. Okay. Yeah, it's a different dwarf.
Okay. And I would ask the workers, is anyone missing?
One of the workers says, well, there were 4 who came late. We haven't seen them before. They don't normally work with us. But it's possible Trillin sent them. He's who hired all of us. It's a big job, so that would make sense.
But they're not here now.
No, they came almost an hour late. They didn't stay very long, and then they took that box. We just assumed they had a different job.
Okay. And then I'll ask for descriptions and get their height and hair and all that stuff.
Sure. The descriptions are sort of vague. I mean, not super vague. They would remember like 2 men with black hair, a brunette, a redhead. All 4 of them were men. A lot of city humans, a lot of humans in general, kind of dress similarly.
Right.
They'd remember one guy had like a bone belt, and but they were all kind of dressed in leather, and 2 were covered in mud, and that's about all they remember.
Okay. Yeah, so definitely ring bells. And I'd like to just walk off way out from the dock and do an investigation for footprints.
Sure.
I'm walking further and further away, looking to see if like the footprints get less and less until I find, the set of them walking off.
Yeah. Roll a survival check, and we'll count that towards.
Okay.
Towards tracking, basically. Urban tracking. Yeah, so you kind of go out there. There's a lot of sort of windblown footprints all over the place. With that roll, you're kind of struggling to really make heads or tails of it. You can kind of see some going in sort of all directions. You think if you really focused, there's a chance you might be able to track them a little bit better, but it might take you a while. Like, it might take you an hour or more.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'd want to be looking like out here.
Sure. Sort of the same thing.
Okay.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you one extra chance on this one. Roll a perception check with disadvantage.
Okay.
This is for like a quick sort of scan of things. Okay.
Just a question: would Jeff would he have said anything to Red about what he asked and found out?
That's a good question.
Sorry, not yeah. I would have just like went right by you and went to take a look around, and then planning to come back.
Okay. In the meantime, Red would be asking the dwarf that's just in front.
Sure.
What are you planning to do with the humans?
He shrugs. They're not my people. What can I do? You tell me. You got the headband. Can I cut off their heads?
Well, maybe first we'll have to see which ones stole your objects.
He shrugs. he seems very flustered. He seems very flustered. He's just like if he had his way, he'd just drown all of them, and that wouldn't even make him feel better. But he'd just do it. As this is all going on, Celia's intimidation check kind of shut him up a little bit. He's still kind of bitching, but he's no longer like directing his like complaints at you guys or anything. So he's clearly like frustrated because he knows what this means. Jeff comes back having not really found too much. He'd get the sense that if he spent more time on it, he might be able to find some tracks, but it's going to take him a while to do it. He's not going to be able to do it in the next 10 to 15 minutes. It's going to take at least an hour, maybe two. And he might not even succeed.
But it seems from what everyone has told me, I can pretty obviously assume that it was those 4 that showed up late.
Yeah.
We talked.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I'll point that out, and I'll say, sir, after I see my lady to safety, I'm sure I can track down your goods.
He nods and he looks over at Celia and says, how involved can I get?
Well, you have to understand, we thrive on the relationship between high elves and humans. I'm not opposed to your methods per se, but we can't get word around that we're just allowing dwarves to cut off human heads, you understand? So, unfortunately, I'm not so sure that my mother would be too happy if I gave away our payment without the full, what we were meant to receive. So, I don't know exactly how you plan to move forward with this, but we apparently have some leads. Hopefully that can be sorted out somehow.
He nods slowly and he says, okay, how about... He looks really frustrated, but he says, I was only going to give you 3/4 of what we brought. I don't have the axes, so I'll give you everything we have left. I'll give you the other 1/4 of the cargo to make up for it. But
And you would say that that's an equivalent exchange?
he nods a little bit. Listen, the furs, the art, it is of the highest quality. I don't think that you would want to give this up. And we have been in business a long time. But if you don't want me to get involved, I can't go back home taking a 1/4 loss on everything just because New Crescendo hires shady dock workers. So if you don't want me to get involved, then you get involved. This is an important transaction for both of us. I also don't think your mother would appreciate you losing my business.
No, how about this? I'll give you one more chance. I'll send my 2 guards, and you send your 2 guards to, search the beach. Right? Just one last try.
He nods and shrugs and sure, okay.
Right. And I look to Red and I say, well, your friend didn't find anything. Perhaps you're a little bit more perceptive. You are half-elf, correct?
Red kind of hesitates and says, yes.
Well,
but
hopefully that means that you have a slightly higher intelligence. So would you
He kinda
mind?
coughs and just like,
And she kind
"Yeah,
of motions to
sure."
the All right. Thank you very much.
It's awesome. Okay. Motifus goes off and talks to his guards, and a couple of them... I'm just gonna make 2 more. There's still a couple more with the group, but these 2 kind of get sent out. Only one of them speaks Elvish. The other one doesn't. And they make
Red
their...
drags his feet along with the others.
And then is Jeff going out with them too, or is Jeff staying with Cilia, or...
I suppose I'll stay. Yeah, I suppose I'll stay with Cilia for the moment.
Okay. Red, I'll say with the dwarves' help, you can roll a... I think it's the same roll either way, so roll a survival check. Yeah, it's the same for you, so you can roll a survival check and...
Sure.
roll sorry, I meant with advantage, so roll one more time.
Okay. Oh god.
That's good. That's a good one right there. Okay. Yeah. So Red, her or his elven blood must have come through, because he spots the tracks, and he makes his way over to
Maybe he spots flakes of mud.
sure, yeah, some flakes of
Dried off
mud, but
mud.
you also, by this tent over here, you spot a big imprint of a crate-like box, combined with like a lot of feet, a lot of knees, a lot of commotion in this area. You probably spot a few flakes of or not flakes, but like a few shards of wood and a couple of stone nails.
Okay, so he turns around and he whistles to Geoff and waves over. 'Cause I don't know if his voice would carry that far, but a
Sure.
whistle should
Yeah,
do
yeah,
it.
yeah. No, that's, if you're yelling, like they'll hear you. They're only a couple hundred feet away. Motifus seems to like this development. He kind of wanders back over to Cilia. He says, I am sorry for these troubles. We've never had this issue before. I didn't realize that we needed to keep such close tabs on your humans.
Well, hopefully this won't happen again. Yes, all right. And I'm assuming that they found something, so I'm kind of curious.
Sure.
So I think I'll probably follow them over.
Okay.
Yeah, so meanwhile, Red has, like the investigator style. He's got one knee down and kind of like saying, look, obviously there's like the big square markings here, so something heavy must have been put down into the sand. Maybe this is the crate that they're looking for.
True. I see no sign of them now. By now they're well into the city and trying to hand off the goods. I'll turn to the dwarf and say, "Sir, we only have an hour or two at most before your goods are gone forever. We must act quickly."
The dwarf nods and says, "Is this for you to do or for us?"
He's asking me.
Yeah.
And since we're in the service of Lady Alter, don't know if they would turn to her, maybe.
Sure. It's clear that this dwarf doesn't speak perfect Elvish, but he turns to Cilia and says, for you want us to handle or you handle?"
I'll say back in Dwarvish, I'll say, I think it's all right. It looks like the elven blood did help after all. You can go back to Motifus and let him know that I'll be back with him shortly.
He nods and he seems very appreciative that you speak Dwarvish, and he smiles and says back in Dwarvish, "Of course, my lady, absolutely. Thank you so much for helping us out with this. We're so sorry." And he and the other guy wanders off.
All right, so I'll look back to my guards and I'll say, look, he's not going to wait much longer, and he's kind of an important person for us to keep around, so we really need to find these quickly. I can't be going back to my mother letting her know that a crate was stolen, and he needs this payment, so let's figure this out.
But Lady Alter, isn't it going to be much too dangerous for you?
Yes, milady. I could not drag you to the places I must go to investigate this. But I cannot leave you unguarded.
Well, apparently last time I left my goods unguarded, they were stolen, so I'm not going to do that again. We're going to find these things, and then we're going to finish the transaction, and then I'm going to go back to Orchestria, and that's what's going to happen. So let's go now.
Yes, milady.
Awesome.
Red grumbles, "Yes, my lady."
Okay. I think this is a great place to take a break. Do you all want to come back at 9:20? Give us 7 minutes or 10 minutes. We can take 10 minutes or so. Does that sound good to everybody?
That's very convenient
Okay.
because I very much had to use
Sounds
the
good.
bathroom.
Yeah, same. All right, let's take 10. I'm gonna mute my mic for the next 10 minutes and hang out with chat, and I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick, but
Gotcha.
I'll unmute myself in about 10 minutes. Cool.
All right.
All right, chat. This is so good. What's up, Toxic? How are you, man? How are you guys liking this? This is a much different session than we've done so far, isn't it? This is a much different session. The The last two have been far more kind of cooperative, and this is like, it's a little weird that you split them up. We'll talk about that stuff later. I did it for a reason, but I think it's going well. I dig it a lot. Not used to it. Yeah, no, this is very non-traditional for sure. But this is kind of, I live for this stuff. I think I really like what these guys are doing too. These guys are awesome. All right, I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick, and then I'll be right back though. All right, I'm back. This is great. Exactly what I would encourage. Encourage in what way, or what? Sorry, what specifically is great? Isn't orthodox, or it is orthodox, or wait, it isn't orthodox D&D. Oh, the thieving idea among the thieves. Yeah. I don't want, like, there's stuff that I'm like so eager to talk about, but I don't want to talk about it till the session's done. I'm having a great time though. This is this is really cool. This is even, I'll put it this way, even I'm surprised. Oh man. Just used to groups not being at odds with each other. Oh no, I mean, they rolled so well. I just felt like, let's just give it to them. Let's see where this goes. I think they're doing great though. I think. Yeah, after all the bad rolls, exactly. The one-liners. I think they're doing well. I think they're all playing like their characters. They're all very distinct, and it's great. Oh yeah, no, same. We'll see. We shall see. Yeah, I got to think about some logistical things now because yeah, I've got ideas in my head. RP's great. Yeah, no, they're doing great. They're doing really, really good. Yeah, what's cool about this project is every group is very different in tone, and that's both like the players, but it's also like I'm based off of their talks or their character concepts and the discussions they have with each other and with me and all of that stuff. I am bringing out I I love the high elf. No, she's doing so good. She's oh man. I think she's playing that role so fucking perfectly. I am trying not to laugh in such delight every time she says something. It's great. You got yelled at by Cores, but you deserved it. Oh, good then. Good. All right, I think they're ready. I'm gonna
Get her too. Just see if I would love to have seen what that would have got the reaction, but
I'm sure that would have been amazing.
Hey y'all.
yeah, that we pulled it off.
What?
First session and you pulled it off.
Yeah, I told you got all the bad rolls out of the way, and the one roll that really mattered, you nailed. So that's what matters.
Well, what's ironic is the worst roll ironically helped us.
Fair, yeah.
Because I slipped, fell in the mud. Next thing you know, both of us are muddy. What do you know? That's a perfect disguise.
There's someone talking there that I can't hear at all. Seems like everyone else can hear them, but I can't.
Really? You can't hear
yeah.
Hated?
Can you tell who it is?
I think that's who it is. Yeah, because I keep hearing Gambit. I keep hearing you respond to someone.
Yeah.
But I don't hear anyone talking.
Really? I hear him. I don't think Hated has to do anything because No. I think you're good, Hated, because I hear you loud and clear. Does everyone else hear him fine?
He might have me turned down.
Yeah, I can hear.
Maybe.
Yeah. Do you?
So weird.
Player Flare. Do you have Hated turned down? Maybe like if you right click on his name.
Muted.
Is he muted or is his volume level low or? Because you can.
Oh, I wonder if I accidentally clicked something.
Yeah.
I mean, that's possible.
Which character?
It's Hated official.
He's been deafened.
Okay.
He muted Hated.
Oh no.
Hey man, the name is a prophecy.
No, wait,
man.
I think-
don't know what to tell you.
Hated, say something.
Something. That's me. That's
Yeah,
me.
no,
That's me.
no, you I can hear.
Oh.
Oh, you can hear Hated.
Yeah, Hated,
So-
I can hear.
All right, let's just go through the list. Badger, say hello.
Well, hello there.
Did you hear that?
Yep, I can hear that.
Rip.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, Rip is a little low, but yeah, I can hear.
Zero.
Hello.
Yeah,
Diva.
Hello?
yeah. Is that everyone?
That's everyone.
Hello.
You might be looking at my bot, which looks like it's always talking, but it's not ever talking.
What does the bot do?
No, there are definitely times when you were responding to someone, and I was like, "Who said that?" Oh, whatever.
Yeah. The bot's just for like under the hood shit essentially, but
You don't know who he was talking to. You weren't there.
Exactly.
The ultimate in immersion.
I saw your post in Discord, and so I was like, I think everybody.
That's what I was
think I
talking
can hear
about.
everybody.
I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
I love how you sounded
that's
like
cool,
somebody from like Yu-Gi-Oh or something. Just like
Did
you
we
weren't
try?
there.
Did Badger try? Is it Badger?
That's me.
Yep, I can hear him.
Yeah. Oh well, I don't know. I will, if it comes up again, I guess point it out or something, or maybe point it out in the VOD if there was like, if you go back and watch the VOD a little bit, if there's someone who's like, who you can hear, who you're like, wait, I didn't hear them talk once, then point it out to me. I honestly, if you can hear everyone when we tell them to call it out one at a time, I don't know. I genuinely don't know what the issue is. I don't know. Cool. Okay. Well, if everybody is ready to get back into it, I am I am super eager to see how this
Ecstatic.
turns out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting interesting.
Yeah, I can't wait until we go and try and find her, and then turns out she didn't have it, and she's looking for us. And they pointed me out specifically, so so that should be fun.
So let's start with this. Cilia, Jeff, and Red. What's your guys' next move?
Well, Red found a clue,
Mm-hmm.
so follow the clue.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just saying there's also the name. I mean, you haven't told Red this, but there was the name given by one of the dwarfs, the one that hired the humans, Trillion, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Trillin, yeah.
Trillion.
Yeah, and the humans told me about him as well.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah, so I think our next steps would be to try to trace whatever footprints we can from this scene.
Mm-hmm.
And if that doesn't lead us directly somewhere, then we'd head straight for Trillin.
Okay. Cool. So we'll start with that then. We'll start with you guys. I'm gonna have each of you. Jeff has survival as a proficiency skill. So how about Jeff? You roll with advantage, and we'll just say the other two are backing you up.
Okay.
And we'll figure out, and we'll see how close to the object. Oh my god, that's going to be pretty good. Okay, natural 20.
Oh, nice.
That is pretty good.
Guys,
I'm
take
gonna
us
follow
right
the
on
prince
floor.
all the way to him.
Criminals, watch out! We're following you.
So Zankoth's stealth check was only a 14. So I'm gonna say you guys. Oh shit! A fucking natural 20. You guys, this is so great. Like, two things that have completely taken us completely off the rails. Let's just go rogue. Let's do it. And it's so good. It's so good. Okay, so
Follow the muddy footprints.
So let me move Zankoth and Telesea. This isn't happening in this area on the map, but just to make life easier on me, I'm gonna say that you guys buried the box. Again, we're not in this area anymore, but we're gonna just say you buried the box here. And now Volcrum and Gavin, I assume you're just hiding out. You're keeping an eye on the box without being so close to it that if someone wanders by it, they'd be able to spot you.
That is correct.
And lo and behold, you spot the high elf and her 2 Harmony Guard, and they're honed in on your tracks, and you're watching them. They're not approaching you, but they are approaching where you buried the box.
Gonna look right at Gavin, and I'm gonna say, well, let's go.
Go?
We have to go now.
Like leave? Go?
They found us. If they find this easily, then they will find you, and then they will throw you under the water.
There's 12 obsidian axes.
I'll make you this one offer. You can stay and die right here when they come find you, or you can die in the jail.
Okay, let's go.
Small point of order. A small point of order. Did I happen to take that one axe that I was talking about?
I thought you had said that you had dropped them all in the hole, but I don't know. You tell me. Like in your head, did you take it with you?
Yeah, I assume that I took at least one.
Okay, sure.
For myself.
Sure. We can go with that.
See, it's happening right now. Damn it.
You couldn't
You're
hear.
talking to someone, and
You
I
couldn't
can't
hear
them.
hated at all.
No.
You couldn't hear me?
Wow. Yeah. I have no idea what the hell could possibly be causing that.
He might have to leave the room and then come back in.
Yeah. Try that, player. Just exit and drop back into the waiting room, and I'll pull you back in.
Okay.
I've never even heard of that problem before. All right. Welcome back.
Thank you.
And we'll just...
Sorry to
It's weird that
interrupt you.
it's hated specifically that seems to keep happening.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Perfect. Okay. Beautiful.
Yay.
Okay. So the
How
only
do I deafen all the other play? Oh wait, never mind.
So the only thing, Telesi, is if you are taking that axe, you are now carrying a big ass dwarven axe through town. So so it's up to you, I guess. My assumption was that you dropped them all in there, but if in your head you had brought one, that's fine.
I figured I took one, but tried to conceal it as best as possible, like throw a cloth over it and cover it, and then throw it across my back.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
So, everybody, Cilia and the rest of you approach the crate. Volcrum, roll a stealth check. And, let's see here. I guess all three of you roll a perception check. Or actually, maybe one of you should roll. Who has the best perception? Let's see here. +1. That'll do. Yeah. Jeff, go ahead and roll with advantage, and we'll count that as all three.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
We're just going.
Hey, I've been on the job a long time. I know what I'm doing.
We're going rogue here. Okay, so Volcrum and Gavin, you two start sneaking off, and Jeff, you would notice where the crate is has probably been dug. It looks like freshly turned dirt and all that. But you do, because you're glancing around, you're wondering what's, you're not necessarily thinking about something being dug in a hole. You're looking for the people who are carrying this thing off, right? So you spot Volcrum and Gavin as they are sort of leaving their hiding spot and trying to get away. They're a good distance away from you. We'll just say what it says on the map, so about 100 feet away from you, but they are making their way. Now, to Volcrum, since you are aware of them before they show up, you would probably be aware that they're aware of you. You know what I'm saying? So, but you also, but you also spot the buried, like the marks of buried treasure, I guess. So it's up to you what you want to go after, essentially.
Well,
just out of the curiosity, does he happen to know that I have my bow in my hand? Can he see that?
With the 20, yeah, I would say he could see the bow. Yeah.
So he can see that a ranged weapon is in my hand.
Sure.
Good.
Okay, Jeff and Cilia and Red, what do you guys want to do?
You said they're only 100 feet away?
Ish, yeah.
Okay. And what was the name of the human that he told us?
Trillin. The
Villain.
Trillin. Okay, so I'm going to point my finger at, I guess, Volcrum.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to cast message. And I'm going to say, excuse me, I suggest that if you and your friend Trillim don't want to be in a lot of trouble, you come speak to me right now, please. Thank you.
And I believe I can reply to that message.
You can, I think.
In Dwarvish, Trillin? Funny. That's not the name he used.
Do I know he's bluffing, or?
Yeah, roll a bluff check on that one. Sure, we can do that. Bluff versus insight. Oh shit. Man, these dice rolls, they're like destined to create drama.
Oh no.
Oh,
I'm not very wise.
So technically, in this case, I would be the tallest dwarf. Yes.
I guess so. Yeah, I would say, given the rolls, like a really bad lie, but maybe you're just not dialed into like you can speak Dwarvish fluently, but maybe you're not completely hip on all the the little subtleties and stuff. Maybe it just throws you a little bit,
yeah.
and you're not. It just kind of throws you. You're not really sure what the hell that means. You know what I mean? Like you're not. It's not that you like buy it hook, line, and sinker. It's more. It's also not that you don't believe it either. You're not exactly sure what he means by that, I suppose, or just make whatever determination you think is appropriate.
Okay, well, I guess I can cast message again.
Yeah, if it's a
And I'll
cantrip,
say-
sure.
Yeah, so I'll say, well, interesting point. Well, unfortunately for you, if you would like to perhaps cut a deal, perhaps we could speak it out.
I'm not
Well,
even
as
going to answer. I'm just going to walk away.
Shit.
Okay. What do you?
Jeff, what do you want to do?
All right,
Yeah, so
well, then maybe one of you should go stop them. That might be a good idea now. Thank you.
If any of them, Gambit, if any of them actually come at us, I will take a shot at them.
Okay. Do any
I
of
was
you?
gonna say I would already be making my way. I like whether or not they noticed or not. I would have said, I think I see two of them. Stay here. I'll be back.
Okay.
Okay, nod. Red nods. Yep.
Sure. Let's go ahead. Move your like 30 feet, and then Volcrum, go ahead. I think you're rolling with disadvantage there, right?
He's now within 70 feet, which gives me normal roll.
Gotcha.
Can I just say that Red would take out his sling
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
just in case?
We'll probably go into combat mode here, but I want to see what the first move is. That's a hit. Okay, roll damage. That's a good fucking hit. Bam!
Yeah.
And then I'm going to.
Well,
take
hold
30
on, one second. So let's. I'm gonna put everyone in combat mode now. So you get the free shot, but then I'm gonna move us into combat mode to see what everybody's reactions is. To that. So let's start with, let me apply the 9 damage. Jeff, he whirls on you, fires off that bow, and it takes you straight in the stomach. Your bone armor crunches beneath that. It gets a good inch into your flesh. The punch of it is so hard it knocks the breath out of you. And you look up, and you're just you're probably pretty fuming at this point. And let me put you guys into combat mode here. Let's see. Let's roll all. All right, Red. Let's see here. Let me organize this just a little bit differently because I want to keep you guys to the same distances, but I kind of feel like this is just a little awkward given that they're on the edge of the map, you know what I mean? So let me just, for the sake of this, move things just a little bit. Let me make sure you're at the same distances here. You're at 70 feet, right? So does that look roughly correct? If it doesn't,
I think we're a little further apart, but
go ahead,
much, yeah.
move your character into place. That's totally fine.
I was at 84 from the closest,
Sure.
and right now I'm 87. So
Feel
I'd say
free to
we're
move,
about
adjust yourself like 2 feet or what 3 feet or whatever it is, whatever looks right to you guys. I just want to give you guys more room to maneuver so that it's not just like a straight, whatever.
all right. No, that's good.
All right, perfect. And the box I'm just putting to the box you can't see. It's just where the mound is, I guess, or the freshly turned dirt or whatever.
Okay.
Okay. So Red, go ahead and it's your turn first.
Yeah, sling, if I'm reading it correctly, goes up to 120 feet.
Yeah.
Is that with disadvantage or just normal?
Let me double check that real quick.
I can't remember if it's 30 feet normal and 120 at disadvantage.
It is, yeah, it's 30, 120, so it's 120 is disadvantage.
Yeah, well, he's still gonna try.
Sure.
And you gotta right click some dude. There we go.
That hits. Go ahead, roll damage.
Ouch.
Bam. Okay.
And he's gonna move just a bit forward. Why doesn't it not want me to move? Oh yeah, haven't. He's gonna put himself between them and Celia.
Nice. So Volcrum, you just got off your shot and you immediately see Red whirling around that sling, hurls that stone bullet at you. It takes you in the shoulder blade and blood just kind of splatters. That bullet went deep into your shoulder. It's not just getting pelted by a thrown rock or something. That thing went in. It's hurting. Gavin's turn. Gavin looks at you and the blood and says, "Every man for himself!" And he just books it double speed. He's not a very good friend. Celia, your turn.
All right. Well, I don't want to kill him because he's our only lead, but it looks like he's gonna die. so I'll say to him, look, 3-1, you're outmatched, and I'll give you one last chance. I'll give you a deal. If you help us find your other friends, I won't send you to the jail right away.
You can answer.
I'm not going to answer.
Okay. Would you like to do anything else on your turn, Celia?
Let's see. How far is this? 3 feet, and then...
By the way, if at any point the music I'm talking to my
Hold
players
on.
here, if the music ever gets too loud, you can adjust that yourselves on the music tab at the top of the. It looks like the little music symbol
Okay, there we go.
up there at the top. Yeah.
Sorry, I was trying to move my character, but I had the ruler checked, and I was like, I don't.
Oh yeah, I should have mentioned that. I'm sorry.
The ruler. Yeah. You need to click the
Somewhat
square
in
box,
range, but still behind someone.
Yeah, if you go to select token at the top, you always have to swap between the two. It's kind of irritating.
Yeah.
I think actually though, let me try something real quick. Yeah, so if you hold control and you can actually use the ruler without moving your token. So you never need to go to the ruler, the measure distance tool. You can just hold control and drag and yeah.
That also probably is because my push to talk is control, so I was probably like dragging the ruler. While I had it pressed. But I got it. I got it now.
That makes sense. Okay, so you moved. Is your turn done now? You moved into place?
Yeah, I mean, I think I took an action to talk
Yeah,
to it.
the message. I think the message spell is a action.
Yeah, I mean, unless he could hear me from all the way over there, but if not, then yeah, I definitely casted message.
I mean, it's 100 feet, so it's just about whether or not you want to shout, and if there's any onlookers to hear you, then there's that. It's up to you.
Well, I mean, if you count me shouting and then me realizing he's not going to say anything back,
Fair.
then would I still have action, or would that take my action away?
Totally fair. That seems reasonable to me. Okay. We'll go to Volcrum then. It's your turn.
Whipping out the other arrow, and I'm gonna shoot Joff in the knee.
Oh shit! Okay.
Not backing down.
No, sir.
You're really in for it.
Going full Skyrim.
Oh, damn it!
Misses. You fire. It goes right between. Missing. Goes right between Jeff's legs and smashes into the sand behind him. All right, Jeff, your turn.
Oh, I'm.
Yeah.
That was
my bad.
I'm gonna take my movement and
Absolutely.
move my 30 feet.
Absolutely.
Oh wait, I gotta grab my guy.
Yep.
And I'm gonna go in the other direction. Actually, wait. Go this way. There we go. All right, I am done.
All right, Jeff, your turn.
Okay. For my action, I will cast Lay on Hands on myself.
Smart.
Yeah.
I think you get.
I'm going to kind of lean over and put my head in the sand and just put my hands on my wound.
Mhm.
I don't want anyone to see.
Sure. So you get. I think you get at level 1. You get 5 hit points, as I recall.
Yeah, 5 hit points.
Mm-hmm. You want to spend all of them?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll just take away the points. You don't have to worry about anything else.
Yeah, I was trying to cast the spell, but and then I'll move my 30 feet
Okay.
in pursuit.
Are you kind of hiding the fact that you're using magic?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Cilia, roll a perception check with disadvantage, since your back is turned to him.
All right. Let me see.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to play it off like I'm just that tough.
Totally. That's pretty good. You know what?
Very perceptive.
Yeah, Jeff, roll a sleight of hand check. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, maybe the magic.
She got disadvantage, and she still rolled that high. So I'm trying to give you an out here, but
Light.
Okay.
Light.
Normal.
yeah. Okay, so Cilia, you'd glance back because there's like a pause between Jeff getting shot, and you just kind of glance back, and you'd see he pulls that arrow out, and he sort of touches his hand to the wound, and it's not that you see the wound heal or anything, but you've been around magic a long time, and there's something about his demeanor, and you could have sworn, I mean, everything's moving so quickly, but you could have sworn you saw his hand ever so slightly glow sort of greenish yellow, but only for a second. But what you really noticed is he kind of stands up a little bit taller after that. He doesn't seem, he's clearly still hurt a little bit, but he doesn't look like out of breath and bowled over like he was before.
Right.
All right, Red.
I think Red's gonna dash.
Cool.
All right, let's go. 60. And just gonna yell out, "Stop! I'll throw another stone."
Kevin just is booking it. He's getting the hell out of there. Cilia.
Okay, let me see. If I move... Ooh, wait, hold on. Is he... sorry, I forgot to push. He's like just barely within 60 feet, right? Or is he outside of 60?
So we've... you probably haven't heard me talk about this before. Since we're not using a grid, I am being a little bit lenient as far as distances go. So if you're like 1 foot outside of it or something, I'm not really worried about that. Yeah, he's not really 60 feet. Like you're well within the square. The thing is like the square that he takes up is actually larger than the token suggests. So you don't have to be literally touched. Like your icon doesn't have to literally be touching his icon. As long as you're like close enough, you're close enough.
Okay, I have a question.
Sure.
So you know how like you can say you want to hit someone but like not do damage? Like you could do that for like flavor or whatever?
Yeah.
I have a spell called Ray of Frost, and it slows you to 10 feet. That's like your speed if it hits, but it also does damage.
Yeah.
I don't particularly want to kill him because I want to question him.
Right.
Is there any way for me to cast the spell but without an intent to damage him, just to slow him if it hits?
Interesting.
No.
Yeah.
Has to kill me.
I think
He has to die.
I think at I'll let you do it, but you have to roll your spell attack at disadvantage.
All right. We'll see what happens.
Or you could kill him. I mean, it's not like if you roll high enough, or sorry, it's not like if you hit him, you're gonna do enough damage to kill him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You might.
But
you might, but
Okay, well, okay. Well, if the rule is that I have to damage him, then I guess that's what's gonna have to happen. So, do I press attack or stand? Like which?
So
standard roll or attack?
You'll just click on you're gonna do Ray of Frost.
Yeah.
So click on the icon, like the image of Ray of Frost.
Yeah, but do I press standard roll or attack?
Uh.
I don't really know what the difference is.
So first of all, double right click on Volcrum real quick. Okay, so now you've targeted him. If you just, are you in your character sheet, or are you looking at the thing at the top, like the little features and stuff? Or sorry, how are you trying to, like, what function are you trying to use to roll your spell? You're muted if you're talking, by the way.
Sorry, I was looking at my character sheet, but I guess I can just press Ray of Frost where it says spells.
Yeah, if you're in your character sheet and there, like, when you hover over the token, it should turn into a dice, or like a 20-sided die. If you click that, it's going to put out a message in chat. I believe anyway. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So now just roll your attack, and then, yeah. That misses. Yeah, no, that misses. Okay, so you fire this. You sort of do. I mean, you're well trained in magic, so your hands go in the proper shapes, and you say the proper words that you've been taught over time, and you fire off this ray. But maybe because you're trying to make sure you misread or something, it goes just slightly wide and misses Volcrum. Okay, do you want to do anything else on your turn?
I don't think I can.
Okay,
So-
sure, yeah. All right, Volcrum, your turn.
She just shot a ray of frost at me.
This is true.
Yeah. I'm gonna look at her like, you seriously just did that to me. Okay. Next one's coming towards her.
Oh, this is getting real. Oh, snap! Volcrum pulls back on the bow, and the string snaps in half. His bow is useless.
Time to toss the bow and beat with the flea freeze. All right. Yeah. I'm gonna run.
All right.
I think that's, yeah.
Yep. All right, Jeff. You're muted also, Player Flare.
Sorry there.
No, you're good.
Okay. I am going to dash. Try and close the pace. Or close the gap, I mean.
All right.
And I
you
guess
might want
that'll be
to
it.
you might want to zoom out a bit.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I gotta get better with that. I'm playing on 2 different screens, so my camera work needs some work. All right.
I think it's my fault because I wrote something in the thing and made my character speak, and it zoomed in.
Oh, I think there's a way I could turn that off.
That's what. Okay, yeah, because my screen zoomed in too.
Yeah, every time someone like middle mouse clicks or something, it takes control over my screen too, I think. Whatever. Well, I'll get used to it. Maybe there's a setting that I can play with that fixes that. Anyway, okay, Red, your turn.
All right, a bit of movement and a bit of sling.
Okay.
God, sorry, I need to zoom in a bit more. I can't see. You about there, okay. All right, I'm gonna sling him
Okay.
normal.
That hits.
That hits. Oh god.
Holy shit. Okay.
Ouch.
All right, Red. With Volcrum already bleeding out in serious in serious, like, already wounded really, really bad. You fling at high velocity on a 19 attack, doing more damage than he would have if he had full health. You pelt him in the back of the skull with a bullet.
Don't tell me I killed him.
He drops flat on his face. A big pool of blood around him. Just completely flattened on the ground.
Me and Meryl telling the boys show up now, don't we?
So you guys went all the way to Meryl's house, which is a distance. So I don't think they've been on the hunt long enough that you all would have been able to make it all the way out there and back in this little short period of time. So we'll get to you guys in just a minute, because I'm pretty sure this is going to conclude combat. Yeah, it's Gavin's turn now. Gavin's gonna probably get away, I'm thinking. I think you guys at this point, with as much cover as he has, you're gonna be hard pressed to catch up. You could certainly try, but at that point you're leaving behind the crate. It's up to you guys. What do you want to do on that front?
Let me see. Okay. Oh, so we already moved Gavin's character off.
Yeah. My assumption is he's going to get away, but if you guys are really dedicated into going after him, we can play it a different way.
No, I think keeping the goods, or going back to investigate that.
Sure.
I get back the goods. That's the most important thing.
Sure. Okay. We're gonna end combat mode here. Y'all realize as you approach, you realize that that you took this fucking guy out. That was a lot of damage. You're pretty sure your bullet is buried into his skull. And I don't
Red
think...
kind of shrugs and says, well, I did ask him to stop.
I say to Red, I know you're new at this, but it's usually better when they can talk.
All right, I'll keep that in mind for next time.
You all just kind of glance at each other and... Well, that's one thief down.
No healing spell's gonna bring him back, right?
I don't believe you guys have healing spells right now.
All right.
I'm
out of mine.
Yeah,
This is
just...
the part where I roll. This is the part where I roll my death saves.
So...
Wait, if he still has death saves to make, does that mean we could kind of tell that he still has a chance of pulling through? Can we do a perception check?
So with that amount of damage, I think he's probably beyond anybody's healing at this point.
Okay.
Oh god. Oh god.
Okay, so with that, I'm gonna scroll over and we're going to look at Zankoth and Telesi. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I just gotta set this up. It's probably not quite nightfall just yet.
So
So, sorry, go ahead.
as we're approaching, I'm just looking at Zankoth, and I'm like, man, I'm so glad that I finally made some friends. You know, it's so nice to finally feel like I'm connecting with somebody. You know.
Yeah, just
I
us
hope
and
you
the
guys.
boys.
Yeah, I hope you guys
Together
never
forever.
leave.
The four of us.
Yeah.
Besties forever.
Making it so much worse.
All right, so you guys
Whoa,
enter.
Gavin.
Sorry, he's not there.
Oh,
I just moving a token in. So you guys make your way into this establishment. Is called Merrily. It's not a bar exactly. This belongs to a guy named Merle, and this place is essentially a trading hub. Now, Merrill is a legitimate trader, but he also has a very illegitimate side to his business. And basically the way this place kind of works is people bring him stuff, sometimes completely legally, sometimes stolen gear. He trades them usually for a very quality cooked meal. Badger, you got my DM, right?
Just a second. Yeah, I did.
Okay, cool.
By the way, that was amazing.
So you guys, his business is basically he takes goods. Most humans eat not a lot of meat. It's a lot of sort of grains and flatbread, and it's a very basic sort of diet. It's not great for your teeth. It's not great for your health overall. People get by, but it's not amazing. So when Merrill takes fairly high quality stuff in exchange for meals, that might sound like that's not super worth it, but just imagine you go your whole life and all you eat is wafer cakes or something, and then Gordon Ramsay wants to cook you a meal. You'd probably be willing to give up something of value for that kind of thing. And it's not like you give him a diamond in exchange for one meal. He might let you eat for free for a week or a month or something like that. So that's the kind of the tone of what this place is. Now you two, especially you, Zankoth, you would know Merle for his more illegitimate side of his business. Telesi, you are aware of what Merle does, but your contact point is not Merle. It's probably Zankoth. Zankoth knows him quite a bit better than you do. So I don't know how deep into the crime scene you are. I suspect not super much. Yeah, from what we've talked about before. So my guess is you're vaguely aware of this, but
Enough to be aware.
yeah, exactly. Okay, so you guys show up at Merle's place. The Zankoth kind of has the run of the place, so he leads you into the back, and you show up and approach Merle. And let me get some less sad music than this. Okay, so
Merrill, boss, gotta come down to the beach.
the Merrill kind of stands up, but he's got a fair bit of good stuff lying around, and he looks up at you and says, "Oh, Zankoth, hey, what's at the beach? What brings you down here?"
Well, we got a shipment, and you're really gonna want to see it. It's kind of heavy. We want to bring some boys.
Oh, I I can give you the boys, but you really expect me to go out there myself?
How does dwarven obsidian sound?
And I pull out the axe.
Oh, shit. Okay. What do you say? You have
11
more?
more,
You've got
like
more
it.
than that?
11 more, just like it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let me give you. We should get some men. I'm definitely not going out there to fetch merchandise. I mean, you should really know me better than that, but I'll totally give you some men. Like, absolutely. Give me a second. He kind of gets up and he has no fear that you're going to steal from him, and he just leaves to go talk to some other people. And while he's gone, you kind of get a look for the place. This is a big mud brick structure. It's probably a place that was meant originally for multiple people to live in, but Zankoth pretty much just lives here by himself. Sometimes his guards live here. Sometimes Zankoth, gets a little room for himself. But for the most part, it's just Merle's place.
Touching quite literally nothing, I would like to walk over to the desk and just look and see what he has laying around. And
Sure.
We will converse.
Yeah, it's just ivory and this and that and the other thing and
anything interesting.
I mean, you see some like good dwarven rope in there. You see, especially in this area over here, you see some good stone tools, like high quality human made stuff. A green gemstone, that kind of shit.
Okay.
Tell her, we're gonna eat great for a month.
Yeah. Can't wait until Volkern gets back. He's gonna be absolutely thrilled.
Yeah, he really likes steak.
Yeah.
All right, Merle.
Potatoes smashed in there is great.
Merle comes back and he says, give my boys like 20 minutes or so, and we'll get you guys out there. Sound good?
Oh, 20 minutes. How about 10? These are prime goods, and they're just sitting out there on the beach. Only 2 guys watching them.
Very hot cargo.
Roll a persuasion check. Mind your manners, Zankoth. They'll be fucking ready when I say they're ready, okay? Don't come in here with all that.
Boss, I hear you.
All right.
Sir.
He just walks away.
Can I take a peek into the room that he just went into? Just look.
Yeah, sure.
Not go in, but just look.
Yeah, feel free. You can walk right through.
Oh, okay.
You find a big empty hallway.
Oh, wonderful.
Now, there's no real doors in this city outside of like maybe dwarven built structures. It's just a lot of like fabric, cloth, like hangings and stuff. So there's pretty much no such thing as like privacy, I guess. Like if anyone talks, you can usually hear through the doors and windows pretty easily and stuff like that.
Did I see where he went by chance?
Yeah, he went through this door right here, or whatever.
I would like to follow him.
Sure.
If possible.
Yeah, absolutely. You make your way through to the main sort of common area. In this area, there's no roof, so you can see clear up to the sky. There's a fire pit going. There's not a lot of customers this time of day. It doesn't usually get busy till later at night, but you're in here, and Meryl's just kind of talking to his guard, and And off in the distance, you can hear a couple other guards like moving about, and sounds like they're getting ready and stuff.
I
You
look
doing,
to
Trevor?
him.
Sorry.
I look to him, the big boss man, and I say, sir, I don't think you quite understand how high, or maybe you do understand how high priority this is. I'm just looking out for your sake here. I think you should, if you can, get him out there as quick as possible so that you don't lose out on anything.
He glances over at Zankov. He says, "Yeah, they'll be ready in like maybe 30 minutes." And he just walks away again. He's clearly playing some power games. He just completely walks away.
I look to the guard there, and I'm like, does he treat everybody like this?
He just shrugs. It's like, you know him.
Fair enough.
You take a seat. Someone brings you some food on the house, and you just chilling at the table or whatever. A little bit of time goes by. Spend 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40
Tell
minutes.
her, getting late.
Yeah, I know.
Merrill comes
Making me
back out.
nervous, you know.
He's like, "Oh, right. Sure. Hey, Jethro, you wanna go out with them?" Jethro shrugs. "Sure, let's go." "Yeah, there you go. That's all you need, right? I'll see you guys later. Have a good one."
Is Jethro? Do I know him?
Kinda. I mean, you don't hang out or anything, but he's been working for Merrill for a long time.
He's a muscle though.
Yeah, big time muscle.
Okay.
Yeah.
I walk up to him and get decently close and give him a good once over. See how bulky he is, and see if any of his character breaks,
Like, you want to intimidate him?
if possible.
Okay, go for it. Roll the check.
All right.
Boys, you can make out later. We got a job to do.
You know what? He's gonna stare you down. He kind of breaks eye contact first, and like, "So, you guys ready to go?" As you start to leave, Gavin is completely out of breath, sprints in. "Oh shit! They got it! They got it! They got him! They got everything! They got him! They got him!"
Oh god.
He falls
Just
onto his
face
knees,
palm.
and he just says, I don't know how they it's like they knew exactly where it was. They went straight to the box. Then they saw us. The elves, man, they're freaky. They could like see through walls or something. I don't know what's going on. They got Volcrum.
Got him?
Last I saw,
You left him?
was, do you want me to be dead too?
I get very close to him. What do you mean they got him?
Last I saw, they were slinging stones, and he was face down, blood all over him. Come on, it's me. I wouldn't have left him behind if there was any other choice.
Does is Merrill there? Does he hear this?
He might hear it. He's not in the room with you.
I take and I shove past him and I go outside. Immediately, straight to the docks, as subtly as possible, but very fuming with anger.
You're heading back to
Come on,
the
we gotta
docks?
go.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, then. You're coming with us too.
God damn it. They're slinging magic.
You owe them.
Fine. All right. Let's go. And you all head back out. All right, back to real quick. Back to the docks. Cilia, Jeff, and Red. You still know about the dock chief. You have, at this point, I imagine you've gone back and you've dug up the gear. Will you have done anything else with it? Like, do you want to have, do you want to bring it back, or do you have any thoughts as to that?
Well, I can look inside because they opened it already, right?
Sure.
So, would I know how many there were supposed to be in there?
Or
does it just look like it's a full box?
It does not look quite full. You notice that there's some room, and you know that would not be very much like this particular captain to leave something with some room to spare in his cargo ship. They fill their ships to the brim so that they can unload everything. You know what I mean? So there's pretty clear. There's 11 axes in there. You're very impressed at the quality, but it's pretty clearly missing one.
All right. Well, I guess I'll tell Red and Jeff to stay by the crate, and I'll go complete the transaction with Motifus.
Okay.
I'm not gonna tell him that I know there's something missing. I think I'm just gonna, give him the box and play it cool. Like, yeah, we found it. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So you're leaving the other two back, or I guess you'd have to go get them and have them haul it back, right?
Yeah. Well, is the box super far away?
Yeah. So you guys had to follow the trail way outside of this area, not a mile away or anything like that, but a good probably a half mile at least. A good enough distance that the docks aren't in view from where you were. I guess not through all the tents and rocks.
So we can start heading back with it.
If all three of you wanted to haul it, it would be really heavy, but you could probably do it, the three of you.
Well, I'll tell them to wait by the crate, and I'll go tell the two dwarven guards to go help them while I talk to Motifus.
Okay. Oh, right, yes, yeah, because you brought them with you. That's right. I totally forgot about those dwarves. You brought the dwarves with you.
Yeah, well, I told them to go back to the dock while we looked, but I'll tell them to go back.
Okay, yeah, okay. They go back.
Over to the other, yeah, like that.
Gotcha. Motifus comes out to you and says, "Oh, you found it?"
Well, apparently they thought it would be a good idea to stand behind some rocks not that far away from the box, so they weren't that hard to find, but here's your end of the deal, and I'll hand him the box.
He takes it and he opens it up a little bit. He looks at what's inside and he nods very satisfied. Puts it in that little pouch that you're pretty sure he had made just for that box, and he nods. Thank you so much. I promise I will bring more guards next time. I will never let this happen again.
I trust you, Motifus.
Thank you, Cilia. You and your mother both have always been a pleasure to work with.
And you have been as well. Mostly.
He takes it and he nods and he just walks away. He's like, "Yep, that's fair. Fair enough. I fucked up." Okay. Not too long after you get there. The box is heavy, but with 4 people, it's doable. Not too long after that. Everybody brings the box back, and all seems to be well on that front. What would you guys like to do now?
Well, I'm not ready to let go of Jeff.
Okay.
Because I saw what I saw.
Sure.
So I'm going to kind of just say, well, I didn't want to mention this to Motif. Hopefully the dwarves are gone by now.
Yes, yeah, sure.
Well, I didn't want to mention this to our friend over there. We're both a little unhappy with each other right now, but it appears that the box is a little lighter than it should be, so... Unfortunately, our only lead is now dead, and I kind of side-eye read a little bit. But we did get a name. So perhaps the two of you would like to continue employment and help me figure this out. I would appreciate it.
Red kind of seems a bit awkward and just looks to Jeff to take the lead on this. Jeff?
Jeff, you're muted.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Yes, milady. We shall return you home, and I shall investigate the matter on the morrow.
Well, actually, how would you like to go to Orchestria?
Oh, snap.
Milady?
Well, you see, I don't take matters like this very lightly when someone steals from me, especially when they shoot at me. And it appears that there's some kind of operation going on in New Crescendo. Somehow they knew to come here and they infiltrated our ship. So, this is kind of an important matter, and you seem to be the only one who has any sort of lead. So, how would you like to come to Orchestria with me so we can start to figure this out?
Of course, milady. It would be an honor.
Red kind of goes up to Celia and goes, Lady Celia, are you sure that they're gonna let him through?
Sure. I mean, why wouldn't they? I'm of the House of Alta, so, I can bring anyone that I want up there. They're not going to stop me.
He raises an eyebrow and says, well, if you think so, sure.
I believe her. Okay.
Hey, I shall use their boxy voice.
Okay. Are you guys gonna head towards Orchestria then?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, right on.
All right, let's go.
Okay. I'm gonna bring you guys out of the map. I'm going to. All right. So you guys brought Gavin and that extra guy.
Don't forget the seagulls picking at the back of my skull. Just...
I don't know if it's been that quick.
Seagulls, man, they just dive bomb.
You guys arrive. It's hard to say exactly how long it's been since Volcrum took the bullet to the brain pan, but it is getting pretty dark out. Little mood lighting for you. You approach and the body's just kind of been left there. It's pretty clear what the Harmony Guard thinks of thieves, and in this case, you'd probably see the broken bow laying not too far away. It's probably not something that they would pick up. It's busted. I mean, the string busted on it. It's of human make, so it's probably not of like super high quality anyway. It's pretty clear what's going on. You'd glance around and in the sand you'd spot some blood laying off in the distance here and there. There's definitely a fight that happened.
DM, may I make a wisdom saving throw to try to resist flying into a murderous rage?
Please.
Okay.
You fail.
Okay. I fly into a rage and Gavin's there.
He's right next to you.
I pull out one of my axes and I make a swing at his head.
Oh shit! Okay, go for it. Target him first. Double right click on him before you roll your attack.
Which one is Gavin? So I don't.
He's right there. He's right there.
Okay, thank you. Don't want to accidentally swing at the wrong person. Okay, so how do I do this?
Just click the attack button in the chat room.
Okay.
That is a hit. Go ahead, roll damage. Ah!
That axe.
Yeah. You basically cave in his skull. I'm not sure if he's dead, but he's definitely unconscious.
Can I make another save to not kill him?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. That's a failure. Zankoth, you see this going on. The guard is just kind of like, life in the big city. What's your response to him brutally?
We needed him.
I behead him.
I can see.
Yeah, you don't need to roll. He's dead. You win.
You.
Well, does he have anything interesting on him?
Let's see here. He has a stone dagger. That's it.
I take his head and I throw it into the sea.
Not to quibble. The sea is quite a distance from here.
I throw it as far as I can get it.
Okay. You roll a strength check.
All right. This should be fun.
It lands in front of Cilia.
You hit Volcrum's dead body with the head accidentally. It's a bad throw.
I fall to my knees and just sob into my hands.
Get a hold of yourself, man. We gotta find out who did this.
The guard just kind of looks around and shrugs and says, whoever it is, they're long gone.
I look at the blood on my hands and, like, under my breath, I whisper, what have I done? My hand's still shaking. I go over to his body and I see if there's any sort of memento I can take.
He's got a couple of like stone daggers, like a water skin, some just kind of like standard stuff, and unless Badger, if you have anything that you think he might be of note. Badger?
I'm here.
Sure. Is there any like little memento on you that he might want to take?
There is a necklace that my brother had made for me when he left when he left town. He gave it to me when I was 5 years old. It's the last thing I ever had, and it's the one thing I kept.
There you go.
I'll take the necklace and I'll take both of the daggers.
Okay.
Is there any way I could have told who killed him?
All you see is there is a stone, like a bullet, basically. So sling stone buried deep in his shoulder, his left shoulder, and in the back of his skull, which might piss you off more because he got hit in the back.
It does.
I think at this point I've probably gotten control enough of me to not have to make any saving throws.
Yeah.
But I I think back. Did I see any of the guards carrying slings?
The thing is that's like the sling in New Crescendo is a fairly
It's pretty
typical
popular.
it's far more typical than like bows are. Like bows are actually pretty rare.
Gotcha.
Or at least uncommon. So and generally the Harmony Guard doesn't carry bows anyway, just because they're bulky and who wants to carry all that shit? But like a sling you can just wrap around your waist or something. So
Okay. Is there any other evidence that I might be able to find from this to figure out who did this?
roll a investigation check.
Okay.
I guess we noticed the crate has been dug up also, right?
Yeah. Yep, that's long gone. Not really.
I take it the rage is just...
Yeah, I mean, you've noticed some blood around, but that's not really sure what to make of that, except that there's been a fight here. Your friend... Yeah, go ahead.
Is anyone left at the docks that I can see?
So from here you can't actually see the docks. You could go down there if you wanted to, but
Is the trail left from the crate that was dug up? Maybe a little bloody also?
Yeah, sure. I wouldn't say bloodied, but roll a survival check on that. You can't be sure, honestly. Like there's so much traffic, even on these outskirts. A lot of people pray to Maelstra, and they go to the beach all the time. So it's really hard to make heads or tails of any of this stuff.
I look to Zankoth and I say, "You can do what you want." And before I go towards the docks, I grab his bow that was broken, and I take that as well.
Okay.
Where you going?
I'm going to figure out who the fuck did this, and I charge off towards the docks.
All right, I'll follow him.
Oh shit.
All right.
Okay. The guard, as you guys charge off, the guard says, I think my job here's done, guys.
Come along, brother.
I yell back at him, "Take care of the bodies."
Yeah, I'll take care of the bodies. Sure. I'm not going wherever the fuck you guys are going, though. You guys leave him behind?
Yeah.
Okay.
If he's not coming, yeah.
Sure. You guys run off towards the docks. The guard, he looks over at the two dead bodies, looks off at you guys, shrugs, he walks away.
I guess it was only us all along.
I throw up my cowl as to shroud my face as much as possible.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, so you all head off towards nightfall is coming. And as you guys are long gone at this point and heading towards the dock, and nightfall comes, and down at the body of our young friend who we barely knew. He slowly blinks and he sits up and he looks around and all is quiet. He sees the tent behind him. He sees the beach. He sees the ocean to the east. He sees the stars and the moon above. But he doesn't feel anything. He touches the back of his scalp where that was the last thing he remembered. He doesn't feel anything back there. It's as if there's no sensation. Even in his limbs, he's neither cold nor warm. Volcrum, what do you want to do?
What? Is this death? Is this what they talked about? He looks up into the night sky and he says, is this how it all ends? Is this what they believe in so faithfully? He scoffs. The gods are jokes. Playthings we are. To the elves, to the dwarves, and even to the gods. Well, I'm here. I'm here right now. Do what you will with me. You haven't shown me anything, given me anything, so I'm not giving you anything back.
And now something catches your eye, some glimmer in the ethereal, just the air. It's just, you glance to your right. There's something over there. It's so dark everywhere else, but there's just this crimson red glow. You don't even know what to make of it. You don't know what to think.
I walk towards it, accepting my fate.
You can move your token, by the way. You, as you approach, you see this thing. Looks like a sort of, basically like a stick, but like a very, very straight one, well carved. And it's just standing straight up out of the sand, like it's been half buried in there. It's completely blank, completely bland. There's no real features about it. But this powerful glow that you're kind of seeing, but it's more like, it's not that you're seeing all this red and blue in the air. It's more like you're feeling it. It's like you're aware of this layer in reality that's always been there, but until now you've never really seen it.
I reach out to the stick in the sand, and I grip onto it and pull towards me.
As soon as you touch it, before your fingers even fully grasp a hold of it, you feel these vibrations coming from this stick and immediately just working their way down your arm into your chest, and it's just humming there, and you feel it slowly slide down into your stomach. And at first you bring your hand away and just kind of recoil at that, but you reach back out and you grab a hold of it, and those feelings return, and as you pull the stick out of the ground, you feel like whatever's going on, it's coming from inside of you. And these vibrations are actually quite literal. It's about the only sensation you have in this world right now. And you, like, logically, you don't know what to make of this, but you know, you can feel what it's like. And it's like your intestines are coiling inside of you, like they wish they were vocal cords. And you can tell the way this is vibrating, there's something inside of you trying to form words. And yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna reach even more towards it, and in my soul, the lack of the better word, I will accept this. I will believe in this inside of me. This is real. This is more real than anything that was ever preached to me as a child. This is real.
And you feel these vibrations working through you, and again, you're not, there's no logic here. This is pure, it's like understanding. It's like emotional understanding. You understand the intent, if not the actual words. But you can feel there's this deep struggle. And you realize a word is making its way up into your chest, into your throat, finally taking a hold of your vocal cords. The intent is clear, but it never reaches your brain, and the words just form on your lips, and the voice that emerges is not your voice, and it just says, life. And you know, in the struggle to create any words at all, this clever voice used one word to ask two questions. It's both an offer for your life, but it's also an agreement for your life. And it wants an answer.
Yes.
Instantly. You're back on the beach. You're laying there, but something is very, very different and very, very wrong. As you lay here, you are covered in something. You're covered in this disgusting black oil or blood or tar. It's all over you. You're completely soaked in it, and it's deep in the sand. To your right, you see this blank stick. And now that you're seeing it with your real eyes, you realize this looks like just a broomstick. It doesn't even look like a weapon like you might have thought it was before. It looks like nothing. And yet it's buried in the oil as well, and you don't get it, but you know it's yours.
I take it.
So you take it and you stand up, and immediately it begins to glow bright red around you. And you look down at your robes, and you realize they're the same but different. And it's complicated to say exactly what the hell is going on here. You're not sure if you're going to be able to figure it out now or later or ever. But it's almost like your robes, the staff, your soul, all of it is radiating on a completely different wavelength now. And you don't know where the hell you go from here, but you know nothing is ever going to be the same again.
I put my cloak up and I head to the edge of the city.
Okay. And Volcrum wanders off. And I think that's where we're going to call it for tonight, guys. It's about 11 o'clock, so I think this is probably the good spot to stop.
Good job, boss.
Clearly,
Wow.
not a normal D&D session.
Holy shit. Bro.
Wow.
Oh my god. Woo! That was amazing. That was so amazing.
You guys were
All
fucking
of it.
great. All of you were so fucking good.